Come on. Hey, wow. Well, hello everyone. It's another week of DJ's Classic Garage Live. I think this is number 17. And I've had an interesting week. We'll talk a little bit about that, but I have a guest tonight. I have someone that I don't even know how I got him, how he's on the show, because he likes Fords and he's from Canada. So these are two things that I whatever. But it is G Canada. He's been in the chat a lot. He's a pretty good guy actually, and so let's bring him on in. And there he is on mute, and we're off to a slow burn here. G Canada.
I'm here, man.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And good evening to all of your viewers.
Yes.
Yeah, I am a Ford guy without a doubt. I've never been a Dodge guy. I owned one Dodge in my entire life. It was a 89 Dodge Shadow with a 2.2, a 3-speed automatic, and it looked like it had golf ball hits all over it because it was in a hailstorm. And I bought it out of the insurance company for $400 and gave a guy a case of beer and $50 to safety it, and away I went.
Oof.
That was my winter car.
Yeah, wow. Well, that's good. It had no power, so it's perfect for winter.
Oh, it had about 83 horsepower or something, I think, right?
That 2.2 is that was not a great engine.
No.
That was pretty bad, actually.
You know what the worst part is? I've told you I had the 87 LSC, right?
Yes,
Lincoln
I love
Mark
those cars.
7, and it was black with tinted windows. There was not a different color on it, and it was loaded. Had the air ride suspension, had the moonroof, the whole bit. And I bought that Dodge Shadow to drive in the winter because, winter's here. And that car, my LSC was just beautiful. I just had it painted and it was in immaculate condition. And then I moved in with my wife.
Oh.
And, I came out one day and the LSC is gone. And so I jump in the Dodge and I take it, and I come back. She comes back. She says, well, it was last in the driveway. I just took it. I said, well, we have 2 parking spaces side by side. There's not really, and I swear to God, I ended up driving that stinking piece of crap Dodge every single day while she took my nice LSC and drove it all over the place. Went to school with it, went here, saw her friends. It was the end of it for me, man. It was so depressing. I never got behind the wheel of that thing again, unless we went someplace together.
You're kidding me. So she bogarted the car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's awful. See, I don't allow that to happen. No. My wife came with a vehicle, and that was the vehicle she used because that was the rule. You use your thing. You drive mine only if I say you can.
Yeah. It was a good thing she was really hot, and this was a long time ago. I mean, this is 30 years ago, so
that's good.
What are you gonna do, right?
Yeah. Hey, there's Ed Rooney saying hi. Good Ed Rooney. But yeah, so I'm gonna, before you go into any, because I have a few stories and stuff, because there's some weird things going on. But I gotta tell you about this. So right now I'm working on that horrible convertible. Actually, it's a great convertible, but I hate convertibles. It's a 95 BMW. And I discovered something that is the worst design in the history of mankind. Worse than the variable Venturi carburetor from Ford. I mean, worse than the weird multi-lug Oldsmobiles. I mean, honestly, this is the worst. It's worse than the air conditioner in a 5 Series. It is the drains for the rear tonneau cover for the convertible to drain the water out that gets past the rubber seal. I don't know where they go. I literally took the car apart. I can't see them. Great. And I need to change them. And I have no idea where they run. I even ran a camera down there, and I still can't figure it out. So literally, these drain tubes are 13 inches long, and I can't surmise where they come out of the car.
Well, you'll figure it out eventually, because there'll be a nice hole where it used to be, and it's rusted through, and you've got all rot in there.
Oh, this is a California, it's a Nevada car, so it never saw rain. It's fine, and I'm taking care of it now before it gets bad.
Oh yeah, you drove it back from Nevada, didn't you?
Yes. It's been
That's right.
It's been covered most of the time. So it's just that because I don't want to just have it get tortured before my daughter starts driving it all the time, because we're working all the bugs out. Just cover it up. But this is
It's a 5-speed, right? 5-speed.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah. I still remember the first BMW I ever drove. And it was actually, I think it was a 320 with a 4-speed standard. And even back then, I mean, this is, geez, got to be 35 years ago. And it was such a smooth car. I
Yes.
was amazed. And, I was used to driving, 4 or 6-cylinder standards all the time, or 8-cylinder standards. And they didn't rev. North American cars
Mhm.
didn't really rev, especially back then. And
Yes.
this thing just seemed to go and go and go, almost like a motorcycle or a 4-wheeler or something, right?
Mhm.
And the power delivery was just beautiful, man. It was neat to drive for the first time. Like I honestly remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah. I driving a BMW. That was the 4, I think. The 6s are slick. I mean, they are the slickest things ever made. It's probably one of the greatest 6-cylinders ever made. I mean, seriously, they rev 7 grand, and they'll do it all day long, and they literally will go hundreds of thousands of miles if you maintain them.
You're talking you're talking about the 3-liter, right?
I'm talking anything pre 2008.
Yeah,
Any of those engines, if you maintain them, you'll get 200,000 miles out of them. Easy. Maybe
absolutely.
300,000, because my 89 has 250,000 miles on it. And it has the original engine, the original M20,
It's
which
not
is,
burning any oil at all, is it?
yeah,
No.
they don't burn. Only their 8 cylinders burn oil. Uh, the uh the 8 cylinders are terrible. The valve seals give up on them, and they'll smoke like bastards. And the only way to fix it is to change the valve seals, all 32 of them. And yeah, no, I
Yeah,
would
that's
just,
got to be a fun job.
it's an absolute nightmare. BMW V8s are probably one of the worst engines they've ever built. Honest to God, especially the N63. That was like in the X5 and the 7 Series, and my wife had one in her X5, and literally that was the vehicle I said, either you trade this thing in, or I'm bringing it to a bad neighborhood and leaving the keys in it.
Nice.
Uh, 'Cause I'm not working on this thing anymore.
Was
It's
that
beating me.
is that the twin turbo that you're
No,
talking
it's
about?
the regular V8
Oh, the regular
that
before the
was
twin turbo, right?
before,
Before the
yeah,
4
before
point.
hot
Yeah,
the hot V that basically is the worst engine ever designed.
yeah.
Because when you have strangely enough, when you put turbochargers in the middle of a V, somehow or the other, it actually destroys the engine. Who knew? I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't know. Who
They love
knew?
the heat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You got it. The oil turning into carbon is just the funnest thing ever. So,
I just got to say to Benjamin, out, 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 out.
oh look, and there's one of the Don Travel Channel. He's a pretty cool guy. He started last week. He was first week on. Uh, a lot of stuff you hear about it, Don. I've had a hell of a week. I actually had to do, and I'm doing a video on this tomorrow. It'll be out next week, and yes, you hit that like button and subscribe. Absolutely, I want to get to 10,000. Need that 10,000. Got to have goals in life. But I did a window motor 2 times on that BMW because I got one sent to me and it burnt up the first day it was in the car.
What? Did
Yeah.
you just say that the car burnt up
No, the
and
window motor burnt up
burnt
after
up? Yeah. Well,
one
you had a first date in the car.
first day. One
Oh,
day.
oh, sorry. I thought you said first date.
No, I didn't
Like
have a
the
first
first,
date.
like you had a first date with a woman in the car. Sorry, I heard it. I heard a little different there for a second.
So yeah, I'm doing a little video on that because it's also near 100 degrees every day, and I'm literally melting through shirts trying to put this thing in. And I'm like, this is utterly the most miserable thing ever. And I bought it from an online place, and they did send me a replacement very quickly, free, but I still had to do the job twice.
Well,
And
you
no,
do your work in your shop though, right? Don't you have air conditioning inside your garage?
my garage, but I I don't have enough room
Yeah.
to actually have that door open enough. So
Oh,
this
that
is out
sucks.
in the driveway with me suffering.
Oh man,
I
Florida in the summer.
yeah,
Yikes.
I literally I gauge it by how many shirts I'm going to need to change. This was a 3-shirt job. It was
Free
bad.
shirts.
It was really bad. The Italians seem to sweat a lot.
Dude, you have no idea how much Polacks sweat if you think Italians are bad.
Oh, you guys just
Oh
melt.
man, Polacks drip like it's going out of style.
So
It's disgusting.
Ew. So I actually I actually found an article I think you'd enjoy because this just came out today. Literally did not know this was coming out, and it's actually pretty cool. The Shelby Super Snake R has gotten introduced. It's debuted at the Monterey Car Week. This
Hey,
is psychotic.
and how many horsepower is it putting out now?
They say over 850.
Generally, when Ford does the R, it means that not as much as they're going more horsepower, but they're stripping the weight out of it, right? So
Yeah.
they're just taking every single pound they can out of it. But for a two-wheel drive car, I mean, what's the point? You either end up with a car like a Demon, right? That's just fast in a straight line. You're not talking about a car that can go around a track at that
Oh, come
point
on. This is a
because there's
Shelby
so much
though.
horsepower.
This is a Shelby. This isn't a Stellantis product.
You know
And
what?
yeah.
I'm not really a fan of the Shelby as much as I like the
Mm.
Roush. I've always been more of a Roush guy, and you know
Well,
me, I'm a
The
Ford guy,
Roush is
right?
easier to get. The Roush is
Yeah,
easier to get. Now, the funny thing is that I have been to the plant where they build these. It's out in Las Vegas. It's very you would not know it's there unless you know it's there. And my mom knew he probably still knows the production guy. He's one of the production guys for Shelby America, and we got a tour, and it is psychotic. You see how this car has the big flares on the back?
yep,
So they take a regular in this case they take a dark horse and they actually cut the corner panel. That's
yeah,
not fiberglass. That
yep.
is a piece of steel that they weld back onto a brand new car.
Yeah. Don't they start with a donor car, right? A regular
Or
donor
they
car, and
start
then
with a production car that
yep,
you have to buy. In this case, you have to buy a dark horse, and then you send it to Shelby in Las Vegas, and they do all this work. And for I guess it's like $160,000, they make you an animal.
that's
That
all.
it's 225 total because you have to
Oh,
buy
I
the
know, I
yeah.
know. I'm
But
just saying.
honestly, this is a car that it's literally a race car, made for street use. I mean, seriously, this is beyond what any normal human can drive.
But is it still tapped into that same terrible 10-speed automatic transmission?
No, listen to this. It has you
Oh,
can get
8-speed dual clutch, I can probably, right?
No, it has the 10 speed unfortunately, but it has the Tremec 6 speed.
Oh, you can get the standard in it.
Yeah, the
And
Tremec's way to go.
that's a wonderful transmission, man.
Yeah,
That Tremec
the
6
10
speed,
speed
there's
is
nothing better.
the 10 speed's garbage. It
Yeah.
really is
Yep.
garbage. I don't know how you can actually fix it. I don't know how it survives behind this car because it barely survives behind F-150s.
You don't know how you can fix it. You know what? Everybody and their grandmother uses that absolutely tremendous 8-speed ZF transmission. And Ford and GM didn't want to pay the price to use it, and they should have just used it because the thing is magnificent. Now I know that 10-speed was based on it, but then they put like plastic valve trains in it and all this garbage.
Mhm.
They're absolutely trash. It doesn't matter whether it's the Allison from GM or the Ford 10 R10, they're both just absolute junk, man. I would rather get a truck from, what was it, 2017, where you
Yes.
can get the last with the 6-speed those 6-speed
2016. I have one.
26 speed, that so they are bulletproof, the 6 speed.
No, actually, no, they're not. The 6 speed has a very fatal flaw, and actually all the transmissions have this. Even the 8 speed has this flaw. It uses a plastic valve body. That does use a plastic valve body, and my plastic valve body warped, and I lost the fourth gear solenoid. And what would happen is that the fourth and third gear solenoid, and what would happen, the truck would bang into third gear, and it banged so hard between third and fourth, I actually broke the fourth gear input shaft.
Wow.
It shattered it. So at 111,000 miles, my F-150 needed a brand new transmission. Thankfully, it's under warranty, but it needed a complete transmission. I destroyed it. and
I've
I
never
maintained it.
heard that. I've never heard that
It's
before from the
common.
six speeds.
So common. You lose third gear. Literally the fourth gear shaft blows, and then you can't go into third gear. And actually, the truck would go into neutral. It would go into neutral going around corners.
Now, okay? Maybe I'm confusing the two. The lighter duty one, there's a different transmission then between the 150 and the 250 and 350, right? It can't be the
Yes.
same transmission.
No, no,
Okay,
no,
yeah,
no. The 250 and the 350 and up have a completely different
yeah, that's the one I'm
transmission.
thinking about
Oh,
then.
that one can handle like 1,200
Yeah,
foot-pounds of torque. I mean,
yeah,
that's an animal.
yep,
The F-150 one is just barely above what was in a Mustang, and it honestly, uh,
yeah. Can't hack it.
it's not a
They
it,
should have just used the bigger transmission with the truck because
it's Ford.
yeah, but you know what? With the weights that they're saying you can tow even with the 150 these days. I mean, they should have used it. When
I
they're
know.
telling you can tow 15,000 pounds or something stupid, and I would never suggest that. With a 150, right? Like if you need to tow that much, get yourself a 1 ton or at least a half, 3/4 ton, right?
Yeah,
But
I tow my truck tows my Charger on a trailer, and that's about 6,000 pounds with all the stuff in there.
see,
And
that's not bad though. I
it's
mean,
well within its range. The truck
yeah,
is completely high. I get 15 miles to the gallon going through mountains. I get 50. I mean, I can't ask for more.
yep.
You can't ask for more out of a truck. You
Except for a
can't.
transmission that didn't blow up.
Well, yeah. I mean, outside of that, it's been bulletproof.
Yeah, great.
Oh, so here we go. Benjamin with a odd question: is a 2007 BMW 3 Series 328xi oof with a 3-liter V6 a good car? Okay. First of all, they have inline sixes.
Yeah.
XI is for all-wheel drive, so yeah, their all-wheel drive systems are they're okay. That is a non-turbo and that's a non-turbo engine. That's actually a good engine. But I don't know. The XI it's good or bad, but that's the only thing. If it's been maintained, then the all-wheel drive system's pretty decent. But yeah, I mean,
Once you're getting into, I know we forget how long, a 2007 ago was. But
yeah.
once you're getting into 2007 cars, you're looking at it's almost 20 years old at this point,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And I up here in Canada, 20-year-old car is destroyed. That means it's gone
Florida,
through
that's
nine.
the it's yeah.
That means it's
Go
gone
ahead.
through 19 winters, right? And
Oof.
it's just it's had all that salt on it. You've been smashing into snowbanks, you've been skidding over ice. So I guess where it comes from, like you said, your convertible, would you say it is 96?
95.
1996? So I mean, you have that convertible and it's in great shape because it's sat in Arizona its whole life. But now, like you take a 2007 that's from Canada or that's from who knows,
Oh,
Maine or New
yeah.
Hampshire, something like that, and it's trashed.
Yeah, there's
Absolutely
nothing left
trashed.
of it.
Nope.
Nothing left of it. In Florida, though, actually, the average car down here is pretty old. I would say at least because they last, because we don't have winter. The average car I'd say down here is probably almost 15 years old. I mean, I'm not kidding. There's so many cars running around from the early teens here, and even before that, just because they don't rot away. And price of cars is psychotic right now, and price of insurance is psychotic. So it's like,
No,
so
I've
that's
noticed. I always noticed in Florida, not as much in Florida, well, in Florida too, but when you're in places that maybe didn't have a high average income as Florida, like when you were coming through Louisiana or Mississippi, someplace like that where people were considerably poorer. There's so many old cars there. In Canada, there's no old cars because they just don't last.
no,
You
they
know,
disintegrate.
yeah, you return them, and I remember one time we got a car, and after what was it, 5 or 6 years, it was worth $1,000. They're giving me $1,000 to turn it back in. Might have been six and
Jeez.
a half years, yeah, but it was falling
Wow.
apart. Like the front end was done, the transmission was cooked, and I bought it brand new off the lot. Right? Basically they were just like throwaways after 6, 7 years.
Yeah, there's almost no way. Well, there is a way to make them last longer, but they don't want to spend the money to make it last longer. I mean,
No.
there are a way, but yeah. So wait, Benjamin is telling us that it's 105,000 miles. Actually, it's not bad for $7,500. And this is the other thing: the cars that are almost 20 years old. This is actually a going price for that car.
Yep.
This is the psychoses of the way the car things are right now. That you can't. That I mean. People tell me, why don't you get a different type of car for your daughter to use for her first car? That one's a stick because A, I got this car for free. I've only had to put a few $1,000s into it. I can't buy another car as good as this one for that money. I just can't.
My first car. Why? It's a first car. Why?
I know.
Why should it be a brand new Mercedes Benz or something
Oh
ridiculous?
no, I'm talking about buying a 20-year-old car. I still can't buy one for under $5,000 that's any good.
I know that's any good, right?
That's any good. I mean, Jesus. I mean, I've seen some things like
the first car I had was when I was 16, and it cost me $400.
wow.
Maybe don't cost me 500. But my grandfather felt so bad about charging me $500 for it, he gave me 300 back. I think he just wanted me to give him the 500.
Yeah,
He
to
was
make you
always going to
honest.
give me. He was always going to give me the 300 back. It cost me $100 in a case of beer to get it safetied, and I had to promise the guy that I would never, that I wouldn't sell it within 6 months. Right? Back then you could actually get the safety on it like that, and he never even looked at it. But I mean, it lasted me a couple years, and it was the greatest thing ever because you're 16 and you got your own car, right? That's all that matters, man.
Exactly. That's how I felt. I had my license at 16, so
5 weeks after, literally to the day, 5 weeks after I turned 16, I went and got my license, and that was on a Thursday, I think. And Friday night, I took my dad's brand new. It had maybe 20,000 kilometers on it at the time. Brand new, 1983. No, was it the Lincoln? No. So it wasn't. Yeah, it must have been the town car. Brand new 1986 Lincoln Town Car Signature Series, and trekked it off to Toronto with my friends in it.
oh dear God.
Went downtown, hanging out, driving around, hanging out the windows, yelling and screaming. I came back the next day. My dad says, "Do you think I'm an idiot?" I said, "What?" He says, "Do you think I wouldn't notice you put 300 kilometers on my car last night?" I said, "I knew you would notice. I just didn't care."
So yeah, Jamie, once again going along with that. Same in New York. New York winners destroy cars, tournament. Yeah. I mean, especially if you're in the city. I mean, upstate's bad, but the city, New York City, you want to destroy a car real quick, drive it there in the wintertime because that's the place that invented slush. And slush just gets into everything. And you can't, it's salt water, it's brine, and you get it into everything, and then you can't get it out. And the cars just disintegrate from the inside out.
Oh, come on.
Horrible.
Buffalo is considerably worse than New York City.
Well, at least Buffalo has snow. New York City has slush.
Yeah, I guess you got a point there.
Slush. It's not even like rainwater. Rainwater runs away. The slush just stays there. And it's just this gelatinous mess that you bring up into your car. And it just, oh my God. I'm so glad I got my Charger out of New York like pronto. I only did one winter in that car. And
how long ago did you move to Florida? How many years ago did you
1989.
Oh, wow. So it's been in Florida since then?
Yes. Actually, 2 years ago was the first time that it had actually left the state of Florida since 1989 when I brought it to Bowling Green.
You took it on a trailer, though, right?
Yeah, but then I drove it in Bowling Green.
Yeah.
I drove it around Bowling Green. I've never had it leave the state of Florida until 2 years ago. I mean, seriously.
That's why it's in such good condition, man.
Well, it's also sitting in my garage right now.
Yeah, it's a garage queen, right?
Well, I mean, I have this. Garages are made for cars, so my car sits in the garage.
Or motorcycles.
Yeah, true. Down here, it's too damn dangerous to have one, so I don't have one.
It's too damn dangerous everywhere to have one. You just
out west. If you're out west, like in rural Nevada, rural Arizona, New Mexico, that's fine. But Florida, where they can't even see a car. I actually had somebody come into my lane while I was driving an F-150. I have a crew cab and a 6.5-foot bed, and they didn't see my truck. They literally just started coming over.
Did you end up in the ditch?
No, I honked my horn, and I was like, Well, I wasn't gonna budge because it was smaller than me. I'm like, well, this is gonna be
Nice.
fascinating.
You think they were on their phone or something, or
I think
just
so. They were
not
just
paying attention?
they just landed like, gee. I'm like, come on. They're like, this is a giant truck.
Eh,
I'm like, okay,
Phones
yeah.
are the scourge of the automotive world now, right? I
Oh,
mean,
you
people.
know, I have see the thing is I have Android Auto, and it's fine because honestly, I don't like talking to anybody when I'm driving. I honestly, I'm not one of those people. I don't like talking when I'm driving. So it's like it doesn't matter to me. So I have it, I have my music playing, whatever, and I'm just good. And it's like I don't fiddle with it. I have the screen and it's like whatever. So I don't do anything with it. I did the same thing with the BMW for my daughter. I have Android Auto in there. And it's like, okay, all the stuff, you know, if you need maps, whatever, it's all there. It's all you can see it easy, but you don't have to fiddle with your phone. And yeah, you know, no fiddling. And he has stick shift. You can't fiddle with anything. You know
You
what
got
I
to be
mean? Because
paying attention.
you gotta pay attention.
See what Benjamin says. It was probably Monique coming the other way with the
Oh,
deer in her
absolutely.
grill,
Yeah, absolutely.
with the deer hanging off the
And the
side.
funniest thing with that is that she told me right after it happened, and like the next day, and she said, "Yeah, I found out when I stopped for gas." And I'm like, "You mean you ran over something on the road
It didn't
and you
stop.
didn't pull over and go, well, what was that?" No, we just kept driving.
That's what women do.
Okay, that I almost had something similar. I hit a mourning dove once driving back to New York with my EXP, and I didn't know I hit it because it's a bird, and it went down low, and the EXP had that big grill on the bottom, and I didn't realize I had a problem till I got almost to Georgia, and I turned on the air conditioning, and I started having feathers coming out of the air, and I'm like, I may have a problem.
Oh man.
And I had to pull into a gas station. It's the time when you could actually get hose. You had water and they had water and air for free. I
Yeah,
opened the
that
hood.
was nice.
I had to clean the inside of the
Yeah.
engine compartment. It was disgusting. I
We
mean,
had we have a tree overneath our driveway, and I've hated the thing. It's ruined paint job after paint job on our cars over the years. It's a mulberry or something.
oh,
It's
I
just
hate mulberry trees.
my wife won't let me cut the damn thing down. Like I hate it with a passion.
You know
But
what?
anyway, a baby must have dropped out of one of the, and it must have hit the windshield and slid down underneath, and it was sitting there cooking. And every time you turn on the heat or something, you'd smell like so. And it just so happened we are going on this long trip, right? And and I'm going, what does that smell? And you open the hood, and there's like a baby bird cooking on the engine, and the whole car stunk for days after. Same sort of a thing, I guess, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, you should just throw a couple copper nails in that tree, and then it'll be dying, and then she'll tell you to cut
Oh
it down.
man. Well, I don't know. She likes to sit on the front porch, and she says the tree covers the neighbors, so none of the neighbors can see, right? But still,
Oh, they put
I
up
hate
hedges
the
in the.
thing.
Oh,
I
jeez.
hate it.
Actually, it's funny is when I go to Bowling Green to do drag racing, where I park are those trees. And last year, I had to go through. You know, it had like they had weird weather, and it dropped all over my truck because I leave it at the track. And I literally came through. I went through the car wash 3 times and only got half of the stuff off. I had to go
Yeah.
out there and basically use spray detailer, then wax,
Yeah.
cleaner wax to get the crap off.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awful. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
My wife had a aqua blue car at one point, and it just fried the paint in like 6 years, completely gone. The clear coat was all shot in it just from sitting underneath that tree, right? Just
Yep,
destroyed it. I
that's terrible.
absolutely hate the thing, man. Hate it with a
Yeah,
passion.
copper nails, man. That's how you get rid of a tree. Copper
And
nails.
the weirdo guy next door, okay? And when I say weirdo, I mean weirdo, right?
Yeah.
Totally normal street. Everybody's pretty normal. You know, it's a street over from where my mom grew up, my parents just live a couple mile away or whatever. But anyway, so we end up living next to a guy who was born in his house, and he's 70 years old and he never left. Could you imagine never having left your parents' house?
No, that's I got out of my house when I was 17 years old.
Yeah, that's what I
I mean, I
mean.
fled. I literally fled. I fled to
Normal
Florida.
people. So he actually never left. And then his mom died young, and his dad stayed there, and he stayed with his dad. He's gone now. But I mean, this was years ago, and he wouldn't let us cut it in the beginning because he said his mom planted it and all this stuff. And he was just a weird old hermit, right? He didn't like any kind of change or whatever. So then his sister comes in after he's, lost his legs, and he's, in a home somewhere, and says, "My mom never planted that tree. It just started it just started growing there." And he told us it was a walnut tree, and it wasn't a walnut tree. It's a something else, right? So the guy was just full of crap. It wasn't that. His mom never planted it, but he just cried. We tried to have some guys trim it, and he parked his piece of crap. He had some piece of junk old van from the early 70s, and he parked it right under the tree so the kids couldn't trim it and all this stuff. Like, he just gave us the hardest time about even trimming it.
Good
Right?
Lord.
And he actually put a chain on the thing and tarred it and did all this weird stuff. It was just nuts, man. You can't choose your neighbors, I guess, right?
No, you can't. So, oh God. All right.
Thank
So
God he's gone. He's gone. Sorry, I know I'm off on a tangent there,
no,
but
that's okay. I don't mind.
I
Tangents.
hate that tree, and I hate him.
All right. So let's talk about some other really bad things.
Sorry.
Yeah. So how about this? Camaro ZL1 could return as a tri-motor electric crossover.
No.
Wait, it gets better.
No, it's a
Camaro's
Mach-E, but a Chevy
Wait.
Mach-E.
Wait, it gets better.
Stop.
The Camaro rumor mill suggests the model could return next year to battle the Mustang Mach-E, and we'll get to that later because this is hilarious that they're introducing this now. I guess they didn't see the charger appliance and how well that did. It's dying, that it's actually getting pulled. So this thing they're gonna call Camaro, it's supposed to be a Mach-E competitor that and also to compete against the let's see, what's it supposed to do? All right, so here we go. This is supposed to be rear-wheel drive with some sort of electric motor in it, and then some sort of SS with some sort of combined. I have a real engine and then an electric engine, and then some sort of 3-motor thing with a But the thing is, this is all dead. And honestly, it's over. And I don't understand why General Motors is a very poorly run company. I mean, they really are a poorly run company. I mean, thank God they're around, because at least Stellantis doesn't stick out that much. I mean, because Jesus, you're releasing a car that or a thing that is going to be competing against. Wait, I'm going to skip over a story. I'm going to skip to this. Competing with, if this ever comes back, the Mustang Mach-E, the next failure from Detroit. Come on, go out of my way. The next failure from Detroit, they have 20,000 Mach-E's laying on the lot right now. 20,000 of them laying on the lot that they can't sell. I've gone by the Ford dealership here. They're just laying there. No one wants them. No one wants them.
Have you ever driven an electric car, Dennis?
Yes,
Have
I hated it. It scared the shit out of me, actually.
What did you drive?
I drove a Tesla Model, I don't know, the bubblegum shaped one. I don't know what that was.
Model Y? Like the small SUV?
No, the other one, the sedan looking thing. S?
Oh, Model 3? Or
Model 3.
S?
Model S. It was a Model S. It scared me to death because I drove it 2 different times, and both times it reacted differently. I pressed on the accelerator on the first time, and the thing barely moved forward. Then I touched the accelerator the second time, and it almost launched me into the back seat. And it scared me to death because it was unpredictable. And I'm like, this is garbage. I mean, this is literally garbage.
Well, yes or no, because they're completely set upable, right? So when you're in the computer system, you can set it for one pedal driving. So if you take your foot off the gas, it's almost like hitting the brakes, like the regen goes on so hard. Or you can set it so that it takes off fast or not. Like, all those controls are completely adjustable, not unlike an internal combustion car. Like, I've driven a few myself, right? Recently, a Model Y. So it was a Model Y long range dual motor, and it's about 400 horse, 400 foot-pound of torque. and they pull like a freight train, and I would never ever buy one. I mean, I left here and it said I had 500 kilometers in winter. I went round trip 250K. I came back, it was showing less than 100 kilometers left. I
Oh
know you
yeah.
guys have to, so it's basically 300 miles and then coming back to 60 when you're only
Less is,
supposed to use 120,
yeah, I know.
125, right?
Oh, the worst thing. Actually, the other one I drove a BMW i3. They had an event, and they make you drive all different cars. And I got in the thing, and it said I had like 90 miles or 100 miles of range. Okay, because it's been used, but it's okay. And the circuit they made you drive was 10 miles. Okay, great. So being me, I drove like me, and literally I watched this range thing just collapse. And
Plummet.
I'm sitting there on a 10-mile drive. I actually started getting worried that the thing would be dead and I'd have to call and have them come get me.
Don't
I
those i3s have a small range extender though? Like a little two-cylinder motor that acts as a generator?
what's the point?
Well, it'll refill the battery, right?
I
If
guess,
you're
but what's the point? You might as well just put the 2-cylinder in the first place, and
Oh,
then you can.
I'm not saying I see the point in it at all. I'm just saying it's
I
there.
I've
Like, you know
never been.
me.
Yeah, I've never been in a car so nervous about it running out of juice as
Yeah,
this, and I was only a 10-mile drive.
yeah. Oh, I know. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
I mean, it was just ridiculous. So wait, let's continue on the EV. Since we're on EV ridiculousness, Ford saw everybody else doing really stupid things and said they felt left out. Felt left out because that's the way Ford is. So here we go. Ford unveils a universal EV platform right as it's on its dying days, and allegedly they think they can make a $30,000 truck. So they'll lose $60,000 on this 30,000
Oh
truck.
God, here we go again.
they lose $66,000 on every Mach-E. I can't imagine. So they're going to launch this mid-sized thing for no apparent reason, and they're calling it their Model T moment. Now, unfortunately, the Model T actually revolutionized automobiles because it was for everybody to be able to buy one, and everybody
Well,
can fix it.
not only did it revolutionize automobiles, but it revolutionized production
Yes.
when you started assembly lines, right? That was
Yes.
really the first thing that was put together on a formal assembly line per se.
Yeah.
And instead of having a bunch of people build part after part after part,
Yes.
they rolled it along lines. One person does one job and you pass it along. So it did revolutionize a lot of things, not just car ownership for the average person, but also production.
Yeah, that, and also anybody can fix it. See, the other problem with these is no one can fix these things.
No.
You can't. You can't, as a person, an individual owner, you can't repair this thing. You can't do anything to this car or this thing. It's not even a car, this thing. And honestly, the right to repair in America, we have right to repair, and companies piss all over that all the time because nobody enforces right to repair. And EVs are the one way to make sure you don't have any worries about right to repair, because there's no way to fix this car. There's no way. It literally, there's no way to make it. And honestly, calling this a Model T moment is insulting to the Model T. It really is. It is truly insulting because it made on an assembly line, but that's the only thing it has in common. It has nothing else in common with a Model T. So I don't know. This is just one of these weeks where it's like, wow, I'm flabbergasted. The level of stupidity that is coming out from Detroit at this point is mind numbing.
I've
It's
done
just
some work on my own because, as you know, I've got two plug-in hybrids, right?
right. That's
I would
different.
never, yeah, I would never ever in a million years buy a fully electric car. And the reason I now have plug-in hybrids as opposed to regular hybrids is because you can have one person in them and you can sit in the HOV lane, right? So
Correct.
they actually have green plate. They're called green plates in Canada, but electric vehicles. So even the plug. I have done some minor repairs on them myself. I've coded them. I've pulled some codes, and
Hmm.
I've changed batteries. When I say batteries, 12-volt batteries. And
Right.
believe me, you've never seen a car that takes 4 hours to change a 12-volt battery before, but it literally took me 4 hours to change a 12-volt battery in
there
one of these cars.
there is a car where you have to take the wheel off to get to the battery.
Okay, I would have rather take the wheel off than what I did, but
Oh my god!
anyway.
Because I think it's one of the Volkswagens. You got to take the wheel off to get to the battery. You got to.
But if it was anything more complicated than what I did, I would have been screwed. And not only that, there are very few people, even in populated areas, who work on them. Like
Exactly.
you can't find the garages. Every garage you can take your 2016 F-150 into, and
Yes.
somebody can fix it tomorrow. They can put new brakes on it. They can do your cylinder heads. They can fix your fuel injection, whatever it is. But this, you got to wait. We've got a couple of garages in town that do it, and the backup on them is crazy. And you got to wait, and it costs an arm and a leg to try and get in. And then, in the meantime, what are you doing? And when they die, they completely die. It's not like you can drive it for a while and they're sputtering and whatever. They're just either they work or they don't.
Exactly. It's
like,
really, yeah. And you're near Toronto, right?
It's the third largest city in North America.
That's what I mean. You're near a major city.
Yeah, I'm in a major, major.
And you have a heart. I mean, could you imagine being in BFE, like, I don't know, like
wherever,
Oklahoma or Kansas? Yeah. I mean, what do you do at that point? I mean, you just literally like throw your hands up. I mean, there's no way to fix it. Yeah. I'm so amazed on how these cars are so impossible to keep for more than 5-6 years.
But
I mean,
Billy
really
Bob, but Billy Bob down at the corner garage could fix your Chevette, no problem.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with that 1995 car, it's modern enough that it's reliable. But if something happens, I can keep it running. I can get from A to B. Unless it's something totally severe, I can make it from A to B. Not very quickly, probably, but I can make it get there. I mean, and you can't do that on a lot of these cars, because once something happens, you're screwed. I mean, you're just so screwed, it's not funny.
And I totally agreed with you when you said, that was the best time for cars, mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, because the cars were reliable.
Yes.
As far as I was concerned, and you could still work on them, right? Like I had a 2003 Explorer for almost 20 years.
Wow.
With a 4-liter, and that's in Canada. I mean, It was rotten when I got rid of it. But you want to know what still worked on it? The motor and the transmission.
Yes.
That 4-liter Cologne Germany motor and that 5-speed automatic transmission ran like a dream. The whole thing was rotting out. Like you could open the doors, you could see the ground in the in the door sills and that, rotten to shit everywhere. But the thing still ran, and I mean started like a dream. Every time you threw the key over it, never didn't start first time.
Yep. Oh yeah. That Cologne motor was one of the greatest things they ever built, because that was in a lot of products, and it was an absolute monster. And actually, because they had the 4-liter, but you also had the 3.8-liter version of that was in the Thunderbirds, because they originally had it in and it was a great motor in that. And the 4-liter was in the Ranger, which actually was the best Ranger to have. That was literally the best Ranger to have.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, and they weren't huge power. I think it was like 215 horse and maybe 250 foot-pound of torque. And it's a big vehicle. But who cares? It moved quick enough. You could tow 4,000 pounds with it easy.
All day long.
And I could put the back seats down. It was the 8-seater, right? So I could fold both back seats down and get a 4x8 sheet in and shut the back gate. Like if you move the front seats up a bit, which you can't even do with a truck.
No, you can't. So here we go into comments. I love this because I know about these. 2 Diesel Larry, there are cars with plastic oil pans, and yes, actually Ford has one of them. Ford for a few years on the 3.5-liter put a plastic oil pan on.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
It is literally the stupidest. And there's there's one other car, because I do cars. Great channel for if you like to see stuff torn down. And there are so many cars outside of that F-150 that have plastic oil pans. And you talk about being terrified to take the nut out to drain the oil. Oh yeah. And the whole pan is an assembly you throw away, because once you undo it, you have to throw it in the garbage.
And how much are they saving by putting a plastic oil pan on something? Like,
Maybe
it's just so absurd. It's beyond
maybe
being.
6 ounces, and probably $1.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's what I'm
$1. I mean,
saying.
aluminum is not that expensive.
No.
Most pans are aluminum now. My F-150's pan's aluminum, no problem. And it's like, come on, guys. But yeah, the plastic oil pan is a really terrifying thing. It is absolutely just terrifying. And this is, these are the things, and it's just as bad as the wet belt timing belt, where the timing belt is actually in the oiling system.
Ugh.
And Ford has that on their 3 cylinders. That is a motor that does not make 80,000 miles before it blows up.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Because
Absolutely terrible.
It makes the milkshake. It makes the milkshake of where the coolant and the water come together. And good night. It just the belt breaks, and then you basically need an engine.
It's like that. It's like that 6-speed dual clutch transmission that they made for a while. Remember, it was in. It was such a turd. It was in their Focus and
yes,
Fiesta and whatever. And I was in there, and it was before I bought. So probably must have been 2012 or 2013. I was looking at buying my first hybrid, and we had a Focus SES. It was the sport version, the 4-door with all the. It looked like a rocket ship. It had the fin on the back. Yeah, and it was blue, and it looked great. But we bought it in 2007, and by 2012, this was the car I was saying was just destroyed. There was nothing left of it. Had 130,000 miles maybe, and it was done. I got $1,000 for it, bought it brand new. But anyway, the guy's trying to sell me another one, and I said, well, I don't know. Am I supposed to make an appointment to get a new transmission put in it now? I said, because I know in 3 months from now I'm going to need one, right? And the guy just looked at me, and he had to look away. He couldn't even deny it. So even at that point, the salesman knew. Everybody knew that transmission was bad. And that's when I bought my first C-Max, right? C-Max hybrid, 2012.
Yeah. Oh, that was actually a good vehicle they built. That was actually a really good vehicle.
They are amazing vehicles, man.
And it did, but the weird thing is it didn't stay around, and that's the weird thing. It had all the space, and for a commuter car, for something that somebody just needs to be, it was perfect. Perfect. It was utterly perfect. No problem with it.
That's what I have still. I have 2 of them. I have 2 of the very last year, both plug-in hybrids, and one I've got. It's got 160,000 miles, so I'll do it in miles for the Americans.
Wow.
About 270 kilometers, and never had an issue with it. Brakes, tires, 12-volt battery, and it's got 50.9 miles per gallon since brand new. And that is a car in Canada. So if I was living in Florida or someplace warm where I'm not driving it in the cold half the year, like that would be easily 55, 56.
Wow.
The other one's got 65,000 miles on it, and it's 57 miles per gallon since brand new. I told you that's what I was going to trade one of them in on the Hornet. Right? Yeah. And
you're lucky you dodged that. You're lucky you dodged that bullet. Oh my God,
great.
You dodged a big bullet.
But we looked at it and we're like, wow, that thing's awesome. They look beautiful. It's a very nice looking car.
You must.
They're beautiful inside.
Well, you're drinking a lot of Labatt's or something.
Okay. For what it is, I don't like them. Whatever. For what it is, it looks nice for a small SUV.
I've seen 7 of them. That's all I've ever seen is 7, and nice. I look.
Yeah. And then they wanted 63,000 for the cheap one. That's what I said. I said, the Mercedes dealership is right next door. Why wouldn't I just go there and get a Mercedes plug-in hybrid for the same price? I literally said that to the guy. And the Mercedes dealership was right next door. I said, that is what a Mercedes plug-in hybrid costs me right now. And he said, yeah, but these are really just whatever they are, not a Fiat. The other
Alfa Romeo. It's an Alfa Romeo.
These are really just an Alfa Romeo. I said, buddy, you're not making your case.
I mean, an Alfa Romeo, that's literally a car that you just make sure you have a mechanic on speed
Yeah,
dial. I
that's
mean,
what I said. Tell me it's an Alfa Romeo isn't making your case for you, man.
so honestly, that car and that car that thing was so star-crossed from the get-go. The first review I read of it, they went it was actually it was an didn't read it. It was on YouTube. It was a guy that just does four-wheel drive vehicles, and he just tests, how their traction works. He put it on this thing where the wheels slip, and you see the car how it gets out of the wheel slipping. The car went into limp mode immediately. The
Because the
Hornet
wheel
went into
slipped.
limp mode. Because
Because
the
the
wheel slipped. Because the wheel slipped. And
oh man,
I'm like, you couldn't pay to have that happen. Literally, it was one of the greatest absolute disasters literally the guy just looked at it. And best of all, the guy gets out of the vehicle and just looks at it and goes, how the hell that happened? And it's just like he was befuddled because he does like Subarus and all these other all-wheel drive cars, and then he puts this thing, all-wheel drive crossover on there, and it goes in limp
guys.
mode, and he's
Yeah.
like, I'm like, I can't get out of limp mode. It doesn't want to drive. I'm like,
Well, that's the thing. Before that, we were buying a new car every, I don't know, 3 or 4 years just because, right? And once the prices went through the roof and everything went insane, and I had 2 ultra reliable cars, I just said, forget it. I'm just going to keep them right now. I'm not going to go spend 63 grand on one of these
oh,
piece of junk. I'll be in the shop all the time with it. And
oh
at the
yeah,
same time, they wanted, so for a new Escape hybrid plug-in, which is basically the same car, right?
right,
Like the C-Max is just the Escape, but it's not four-wheel drive. It's got the
right,
same interior, the same shell. Like, from the wheels up, it's the same car, right?
right.
But and I just said, forget it, man. I'm just going to keep these. And actually, it was so reliable. I know 2 other people that went and bought one because
Jeez.
I'd had them for years and never had a problem with them. You know what? Neither one of those people have had a single problem with those cars either.
No.
They were entirely made in Michigan, like the
Yes.
old school cars, right? And you know what? I've been seeing lately car mechanics. Hoovy. You ever watch
Yeah.
Hoovy's
Yeah.
garage?
Hoovy. Yes.
So his car wizard, right?
Yes.
And he's a Ford hater. He's always said, buy yourself a Toyota, whatever. And that other guy, Scotty Kilmer, both of
Yes.
them have had Ford Focus, and they would never get a Focus that's built in Mexico. But the Focus hybrids, which have the same powertrain, same motor, same everything, and the Focus plugins, they both have one, and they're both like, these cars are indestructible because those any of the Fords with those hybrid powertrain were all made in Michigan, and they're
Yes.
all the same. They're
Yes.
completely indestructible.
Yeah,
So
there is a huge difference between the Michigan stuff and the stuff not built in Michigan, because like the Bronco we have, we have a 22 Bronco, and that was made in Michigan. It was made in MAP, and honestly, for what it is, the quality on it is actually really good. I mean, this is an off-road vehicle. It's not a BMW. It is a truck.
the
But
full size Bronco, right?
yeah, a real Bronco, a
And you've
full-size
got
Bronco.
what, the 2.7 in it?
No,
Twin turbo?
I had the 4-cylinder.
Okay. 2 liter?
The 2 point what is it?
Oh,
2 point
2.3. Sorry. Yeah,
2.3,
2.3.
which is
Yep.
an indestructible 4.
Yep.
Literally that engine
Yep.
is indestructible. Cockroaches would be driving that thing.
That was the one that
And
used to be in the
Pinto,
souped up yeah, but it was in the souped up not
Super Coupe.
Escort.
It was in the Turbo Coupe.
Yeah,
It
that
was
too.
it was in the Turbo Coupe and the SVO Mustang. Same engine.
Yep.
Same engine. It's been actually strengthened. It has a girdle
Yep.
on it now. I mean, that bottom end is like unbreakable
Yeah,
on that thing.
they are.
But the thing
Absolutely.
is, that was built in Michigan, and you can see that, like, when you shut the doors, it's solid. Everything about the vehicle, for even being just a basic kind of vehicle, that everything is put together quite well. The only thing is that, they went cheap on the roof. I have the hardtop roof, and Ford told Webco to make it as cheap as possible, and they did. And the air sound in that thing, it's like driving a convertible with the roof down when you have the roof on in that thing. It's loud. I mean, it
So
is
you can take the
ungodly.
roof off of it though, right?
Yes, I can.
Nice.
And I'm gonna have a video soon. I have to finish putting it on. It's just been too damn hot. I actually won a thing where you fold the front sections over and then you can slide it onto the back, and you don't have to take any of that off. It stays on the vehicle. So it's actually a really neat system.
Yeah, they are nice, man. They're
Yeah, it's
again, they've gotten very expensive also, right?
oof. I mean, they are because we got it for about 50 because we got price locked because ours got delayed a year. And we got lucky. It price locked. And when we had all sorts of, it gave us discounts and stuff. But now you can't touch one at the high level for under 60.
Yeah.
And they are throwing money on the hood now.
Yeah.
They are throwing money on the hood because they have to.
Yeah. In
There's
Canada,
no way around it.
Yeah, in Canada, they're minimum 75.
Yeah.
Minimum.
I mean, there's no way that this can continue. The price, something has to give at this point because the price of cars is way too high for it to continue. It just can't. It literally, we're setting up a 2008 disaster all over again, maybe worse.
Well, that's why I used to just, they were disposable. Like I said, after 5 or 6 years, I just would get rid of them and get something else.
Yes.
There would be some things I kept, like my truck and that, but usually for our other car or whatever, I would just every 4 or 5 years it was gone. But you can't do that anymore. The prices on them are just insane.
No, that F-150, I'm going to maintain the hell out of that thing. I don't know how long I'm going to keep it, but maintain it. And the Bronco is basically made to last for an eternity because it has a stick in it.
Yep.
Once you get rid of the automatic transmission, yeah.
You got a standard in that Bronco?
Yes.
Now, is that one of the ones with the low and then the 6-speed?
Yes.
Is that
on that low is
yeah,
crazy.
Crawler, the crawler, right?
Oh,
the crawler
once you put it in that gear, it like you just lift your foot off the clutch, you'll go forward.
Yeah. I didn't know that you had a standard in that. That's cool.
Oh yeah, we have a real transmission in it.
Nice. Yeah, that truck will last forever.
Oh, it'll last forever. I mean, I'm like, it has a Dana in the front, a Dana in the rear. It has a 6-speed manual. It has the indestructible 4-cylinder in it, and it has a washout interior. Has boat material on the seats. So I'm like, yeah, we're good. We'll just wax it. We'll call it a day.
I wonder, can you actually? Well, I mean, obviously you don't need to tow anything with it because you got your truck. But could you tow anything with it if you needed to?
3,000 pounds. The way that and I see this online all the time. These idiots, and especially Facebook. Facebook is now the place to go see idiots. It really is. It truly is.
So I think that's always been the way. But
yeah, anyway. But it's really rampant. And people, like, I saw people trying to tow. They were towing cars with it, and I'm going. You realize where that tow hitch is attached to? That's really just glorified sheet metal. It literally is like unit body. It's attached.
Well, they're unibody, right?
They're frame on frame. They're body on frame. But where this is, it's unit body. Like it's not. It's a sub. It's not bolted to the frame. And I'm like, and that's why it has a 3,000 pound rating. Because plus, would you want to tow 18-foot long trailer with a vehicle that has a 110-inch wheelbase?
No,
I wouldn't.
Not.
I mean, no. That's why I have a 20-foot long F-150, because when I tow, I go right down the road smooth because my truck is long enough to be able to compensate for the length of the trailer. This thing.
It's extremely irresponsible to the other people on the road. I mean, you're going to end up killing somebody if that thing goes out from underneath you. You know what I mean?
Oh,
you don't have the weight and you don't have the power to stop it. Well, I don't care if people kill themselves.
You might kill somebody else though, because
it's fine with me when people kill themselves. I'm all good with that. I got no sympathy. If you're a moron, you kill yourself, tough shit. But if you wipe out a family of 4 coming the other way, then I got issues with you, right?
Oh, you can. I mean, it's so irresponsible what I see people try to do towing, and it's like, I just because you can hook it on there does not mean you should tow it.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we've had, the thing is, we've had diesel F-250s, and I really wish the first one got destroyed by a tow truck, by a dump truck. My wife got hit at a guy ran a red light with a dump truck.
Oh,
because we probably would have kept that thing forever, because it had the 6-liter, but all the problems were fixed on it. So
The
then,
Ford 6-liter?
yeah,
Oh, that was the worst diesel motor they ever
they
made.
fixed everything on it, though. It was great. We were getting
Was
19
it?
miles to the gallon. It was
Wow.
awesome. But then after that, we said, okay, we'll buy another F-150, F-250. We buy another F-250. It has the 6.4 in it. That was
Oh.
the worst engine they ever made.
Yeah, yeah, I
We
take it
lemon
back.
lawed that thing. We literally
Did you
lemon lawed
really?
it.
Nice.
Lemon lawed it, and we lemon lawed it. They let us keep the truck. We traded it on a BMW, and we had the money too. So we basically got a BMW for like it was an X5. It was actually good new, that X5. It was a CPO, and we
Mhm.
basically paid like $4,000 for it
Now,
after
could you
trading.
tow with that BMW X5 back then? I don't
You can,
remember.
you can,
I
you can.
I,
It,
I
it
don't
could
think I
tow.
ever drove one, right?
It could tow 6,000. I actually had the hitch on there, and I did tow with it.
No?
It wasn't
Yeah.
bad. It wasn't. I wouldn't do like 1,000-mile trip on it, but towing from like around town, it wasn't
Yeah.
bad. You
You know,
put a trailer brake, it wasn't bad.
what was crazy is when you go to England and Ireland and stuff. I don't know if you've ever been there, but there's
No,
all kinds of people with like Volvo station wagons or old 100-year-old Land Rovers, and they're towing like two horses in a trailer in the back, and
yeah,
the trailer hitch is just scraping on the ground, and the
yeah.
front tires are basically off the ground too. I thought it was crazy. I never saw anything like that before. But they don't really have pickup trucks there, right? Like they
It's
don't have
rare.
big
It's rare to
big
see pickup
pickup
trucks.
trucks.
I saw one pickup truck in Sicily, and I actually took a picture of it because I can't believe there's actually a pickup truck here.
Full sized? Like a
No, and
full
of course,
size
it was like the
pickup?
size of a
Yeah.
Tacoma. I'm like, that.
Yeah.
This roads is so small there. You're not
Yeah.
getting a full size truck.
Yeah. I've seen the occasional like Ranger. I've seen Rangers in England or Ireland, but that's as big as I've ever
Yeah,
seen,
you're
right?
not getting any bigger. Those roads are. So
Yeah.
wait, Benjamin was back. So this is a great assessment here. So it's a 2019 Subaru Ascent Premium for like 14 and a half. 154,000 miles on.
Jeez. It's already 6 years old.
And then for another 9 grand, you could buy a new one.
That's what I was gonna
Yes.
say. Like, how
Yeah, I
much
mean
were
that's
they
not even
new?
that.
How much were they new in
They're not
2019?
expensive. They're not
They were
that.
probably 17 or 18
Yeah,
grand. That was
that
just
is
before
insane.
COVID,
That is
right?
insane.
That's 250,000 kilometers.
For 25,000, I would have the thing with the warranty. Trust me, you'll make
Yeah,
money in the long run on that. God.
but that's the thing. Right before COVID, you could still get a bunch of cars under
Yep.
20 grand,
Yep. And then they
you
screwed the
know?
money system. Now you can't.
And I mean, when I went into Ford before that, just think about it. In 2017, so when I bought one of those, when I bought those cars in 2017, Ford had, I think, 6 vehicles that started under $30,000.
Yes.
They had the Fiesta, the Focus, the C-Max, a truck, F-150 started under, and this is Canadian dollars, so you'd
Yes.
have to switch it to American. And they had, geez, I can't remember Fusion and something else, but they were all under $30,000.
Yes.
And now they don't have a single vehicle under
Nope.
30,000. Some of them were under 20.
Well, here's even even weirder. Like Stellantis, actually it was Fiat at that point, when they had the Charger and the Challenger in the teens, that most of the ones they sold were 6 cylinders. They had that horrible Pentastar 6 in them, but they had the 6 in them. Most of them were, and you could buy one of those cars for in the low 30,000, like low $30,000, like 32 grand,
Yep.
$33,000, and actually have decent stuff in it. But you had a car, like even the Charger, you had a big 4-door car for like $33,000, which
Yeah.
is not bad. I mean, granted, it has a shit motor in it, but
You
hey,
know what? You're gonna think I'm crazy for saying this. My dad owned one Dodge his whole life, and it was around, I don't know, I guess around 16 or 15. He bought a Journey. No, maybe it was earlier than that. Maybe it was around 2013 with that Pentastar 3.6 in it, 6-speed automatic transmission. That thing was nice, man. I
really?
actually liked it. It was
Wow.
comfortable for a big fat bastard like me to be able to sit in it. It had a big seat. It reminded me of cars from the old days, right? It
Yeah.
had a very low revving motor. I mean, we didn't know that those motors were going to have the problems at the time.
Yeah, they
It
have.
was strong motor, right? It had 280 horsepower, whatever. It moved that thing nicely. It got 30
Yes.
miles per gallon on the highway. But
Yes.
I actually really liked that. I thought it was a nice, comfortable,
The problem with it is that Fiat never spent any money to fix the intake the valve problems they had
Yeah.
in that engine or the Hemi. They
Yeah.
spent no money to fix the problem that literally it would have only cost a few million in research, but you would have had cut down all those warranty fixes that you had to do. Because I mean, and Stellantis is the same way. Literally, Stellantis, I wouldn't buy a Stellantis product if you said, give me $1, you can have a 6-pack charger. I'd say no. No, I don't want it, because the engines are destined to fail. That Huracan is a terrible engine. It is a food stamp B58. And if you don't know what a B58 is out there, that is the engine in a BMW 340 or BMW 440 or BMW 540. It's a inline twin turbo 6 that makes 400 horsepower, and people mod them and get 800, 900 horsepower, and they don't blow up. It's a great engine.
Yep.
But the Huracan isn't that engine. It really isn't. They didn't even steal BMW's homework. And BMW went through as good as they are, they went through a whole learning curve with the turbos. The first generation of those turbo engines, they were blowing them up left and right. They were literally replacing at least one engine a week at the dealership near me. I went in there one day because I used to go in all the time. And I went in, and literally it looked like a crime scene. They had taken the engine out of the car, and it had gotten so hot that the bearing let go on the rod, and the rod went right through the side of the engine.
Oh.
And that was because the turbos were so close to the engine, it was actually baking the engine, and it would just take the rod bearing out, and it would throw it through the side of the block, and it looked like a crime scene. I mean, there was just oil everywhere. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, I put that in comments. That B58 motor is spectacular. Like I was saying, a friend of mine has a 440i Grand Coupe, 2017, and they're the same motor except for a tune. The only difference is the tune between that, because they say it has 340 horsepower. Stock, I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
It's the same motor that they have 444 horsepower out in the M cars. So anyway, he took it and put an exhaust on it, a sport exhaust, and he got a tune. And I swear to God, if it's not 400 horsepower at the wheels,
yes,
I'm a monkey's uncle. I drove that thing, and it is sick.
Yeah,
absolutely sick. All-wheel drive. You step on it, and it pulls like a freight train.
God.
And I saw a guy with a rear-wheel drive one unmodded, and he just has a mild tune. Like this is a BMW tune. Like they did it at the dealer, right?
Yeah.
And I saw a guy on YouTube who just took one out rear-wheel drive in the rain, and he was pulling 4.6 to 60 in the rain in this car in a rear-wheel drive 440 unmodified.
That is unreal.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, this car was under 4 seconds. And my friend's
easily.
you could pump so much more horsepower through this. He still has he had a warranty because he bought a new, but he had a warranty, and they tuned it to this, and he still had his warranty. That's how indestructible those motors are.
They do it. And because I actually I hang out around a bunch of BMW guys here, and I went out for a drive with them earlier this year with my little 3 Series, my 325, my 89, with its 190 chipped horsepower. And I was going, we made a turn onto a road from a light, and the guy had a brand new 340 behind me that was very tuned. I mean, extremely tuned, and down to the Borla exhaust. Bigger turbos on it, bigger intercooler. I mean, anything you could do to this car, he did. So I'm going along, and I pull away from the light, and I'm revving my car out. I'm hitting $7,000 in every shift, right? And that BMW is not slow. It's like a 6-second car, maybe a little less.
It's quick because it's so light, right?
Yeah, it's light, so it's quick.
Yeah, it's quick.
So literally, all of a sudden, I hear, because I had the sunroof open, I hear, and this thing passed me like the Roadrunner passing the Coyote.
Like you were standing still.
He literally
Yeah.
was just behind me and passed me so fast that I sat there going, uh, my daughter was in the car. I looked at her and said, "What the hell just happened?" Like literally, he went by me so fast, I actually didn't even see him. He
Yeah.
was gone. And I'm like, wow. Yeah. So those engines are that powerful and indestructible. And
Yeah.
with Dodge, you're getting into a weird area with that car, and it's not a good one because honestly, for the money, I'll buy the BMW any day of the week.
Yeah.
You get a better car. You
And
have a
you can
better
get
car around you.
well, the thing is you can get a used one now for very little money, and you still get that same, and they all have the best, as far as I'm concerned, the best automatic transmission of the modern era is that ZF8 speed that's in those cars.
Yeah.
And
I
they can
mean,
be tweaked, they can be adjusted, and they are lightning fast, and they are pretty indestructible
yeah.
themselves, right?
But but for dime, because the new Charger thing, that's like 55, 60 grand. And for that money, you're in BMW 3 Series territory with the Turbo 6. And there's no comparison between the two cars. There literally is. You are now in a weird zone because now you're direct head to head with a BMW. Not a great place to be. A lot of people have tried to go there and they have failed miserably.
Well, that was my whole thing when they were asking me to buy that Dodge, right? And I said to them, the Mercedes dealership is right next door.
Much better car.
It's right next door, and
Much better car.
I can get the same, type of car for the same money there as what you're selling me this Dodge for. I actually said to him, this isn't a Mercedes, this isn't a BMW.
Nope.
This is a Dodge. There's no way I would pay you for this.
Well, here we
I
go.
thought
Yeah, good.
I was just gonna say I thought it would be like 40 grand.
It should have
You
been,
know?
but
Yeah.
no, they don't know what they're doing. Here he goes. SG. I like SG. Comes around once in a while. I wouldn't pay more than 30K for a Hellcat. Fast, but don't think they look that great. Well, actually, they not built that well either. Don't look really as good as a 2003 SVT Cobra. Absolutely, that 2003 Cobra was a tough looking car. That was a good car too. That engine, that at 4.6 at that point was fully realized. That was a good engine at that point.
And to me, nothing's ever sounded. I know I'm completely
Was that the
biased, right?
5.4 in that?
That one would have been
2000?
the 5.4. If
Well,
they're
yeah,
talking
that
about
oh the god, that
2003 Cobra,
yeah,
the
that one's
Cobra, yeah, would have been
indestructible.
5.4 with a
Yeah,
supercharger, right?
that had the 16 thread, was it the 9 thread or 16 thread spark plug? So it had the longer spark plug so you don't damage them. That motor was just absolutely indestructible.
But I might be, obviously I'm totally biased, right? But I always thought that there was not a car in the world. Okay, and when I say in the world, I'm not talking about, a Ferrari or a North American car that ever sounded better than a 5-liter Mustang.
No,
Like
that
I
5-liter
always
Mustang
thought
sounds great though, yeah.
they sounded just amazing, man.
So
You
here's
know,
Vintage 76 saying goodnight. Hey, Todd, that's sad to see you go. Okay. But, Vintage is really cool. He has a little channel, and it's kind of eclectic, but it's a fun little thing. So go check him out. But yeah, he knows a lot about older Volkswagens because he started with a Bug, and that's a good starter car. That really is. That's a good car to learn how to do all your mechanics work on. It really
I
is.
I started working at a Volkswagen Audi dealership when I was 15.
Yeah.
Actually, just cleaning cars and that, right?
Yeah, but
And
you were still around. You hear things.
oh yeah.
I was working at a actual gas station repairing cars when I was 15 years old.
Oh yeah, I mean they had you help, you know what I mean? So
Oh,
it was almost like an apprenticeship, but you're doing everything. You did a
yeah.
lot of sweeping floors and washing cars, but when they needed brakes bled, you'd be up on the hoist,
Oh,
pumping the
dude.
brakes and hold this and do that. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wait, wait, wait.
They taught you stuff along the way.
Well,
But
see, the thing is, they were friends of my uncle, and they knew that I knew a lot more than the average 15-year-old. So I actually ended up doing a lot of stuff. I was doing mainly the grunt shit that no one else wanted to do, like
yep,
changing spark plugs. I did
yep.
it. A lot of times doing like brake drums. And I've inhaled so much asbestos in my life. Because it's amazing when you take that drum off on those old cars, like you try to blow it out, and you blew it out, and you still just blew dust all over yourself, but it would just come like snow, and it's all asbestos lining because this is the mid '80s, and that's all you had. And and the one thing I was really good at that they loved is that I could fix tires. Like I was the tire master. I can repair any flat on any tire and it would last. I never had a
Put
tire come back, and I was there for 5 years. Never
putting
had a tire
plugs
come back.
in. You're
No,
plugging
I
them,
did patches. I did patches.
patches,
I would
plugs.
take
Yeah.
them off. I would take them off the rim, patch them, put it back on, repop it, and then balance it, and good to go.
I don't know if it was because of where, I'm living in the suburbs or whatever, but most of my friends had cars,
Yes.
and they
Yeah.
were all junkers, and we worked on them all ourselves.
Right.
Like
Well, same
that's
with
what we
me.
did.
Well, same with me in that I grew up, in New York City, but I grew up in Staten Island, so you had room. I wasn't like Monique. Monique grew up in Brooklyn. You didn't need a car in Brooklyn. You really didn't. You could just take trains everywhere. It's
Yeah.
just, simple. But in Staten Island, you had to drive. And, taking the mass transit sucked there. So, all my friends, yeah, we all had cars. And in my high school, everybody had, well, most people had, not everyone, they had something from the early 70s. Because this is, the mid 80s, everybody had something from the early
Yeah.
70s, except for the really rich kids that had BMWs from the mid to early 80s.
Hey,
And,
the richest guy I know, and I mean his parents were super wealthy. I mean, when you talk about being back in the 80s, like hundreds of millions of dollars type wealthy. Never mind, the guy drove an old Murata, a two door
I
Murata
remember the Murata.
that had
We
about
had a Cordoba.
yeah, and
We
it
had the
had
same
that,
car.
I forget what it was, a 4.3 or a 4.2 V8 in it that had about 80 horsepower.
Oh no,
The
no,
thing was the biggest piece of junk
the
ever.
Murata had a 318 in it. I
Was
had
it?
yeah, it was a 318, and it was so smogged down. It even had a 4 barrel on it, and it was so smogged down that thing couldn't get out of its own way. But see, we had a Cordoba that was an FBI car, and I don't know what they did to this car, but it had a True Track in it, and you can actually smoke the tires down the street in this car for an
In a
83
Cordoba
in a Cordoba.
in
Yeah.
83.
Yes.
Because the average V8 in 83 had about 130 horse,
Oh, this
140
had much more than
horsepower.
that. I don't know what the FBI did. FBI cars used to be the way to rock and roll because they did something to them. And it's not just folklore, because my grandfather had bought a 1977 Grand Fury, and it had a 400 4 barrel in it. And literally, this car, you can just stomp the gas and you can sit there and smoke both rear tires.
Plymouth
And
Fury.
a Plymouth Fury, and it was
Yeah.
an animal. I wish I could just kept the engine, because I would have put that in a dart or something. This thing would have run like 12s if you put it in a light car.
The
I mean, it was
first
an animal.
the first car that back then that really surprised me was a friend of mine, same thing. His parents had a Chevy Nova with a 350. I think it was an SS.
Mhm.
And it had been sitting forever, and we worked on it and put it back on the road. And he drove it for a few years. And that thing was fast, man. Like surprisingly
Oh, the
fast, right?
Novas? Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
they weighed nothing. They were nothing. They were like, 2,600-pound car.
Is that why? It
Yeah,
was
they
that
weighed
light?
they weighed nothing.
I don't know, but it was the first car that I was like, "Oh, this is what they're talking about."
It's a
Because
little
I'm used
scary.
to, I'm used to brand new cars, like like we had whatever, a Crown Victoria and a town car. My dad loved those big Fords, but they had no power. Like
No.
like I say, he bought a brand new town car in '86, and the thing had like 155 horsepower or
Yeah.
something like that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really weird, and I'm probably gonna do a video on it that, actually, have I? No, actually, no, just how coming out of that era, and going and doing and how they had to actually, I did do a video on this. How the government saddled the companies with stuff that they couldn't actually deliver, that you end up, that's why you had actually the 90s car thing. I kind of touched on it. Like literally, it wasn't until the 80s they started making engines that had any type of power. It was literally the 80s when it started, because before that you had cars that had like you had Corvettes that had 160 horsepower.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
it was
couldn't
like
outrun anything.
it started in what 74 or 75 and went right to about 86, I think,
80
where the
actually
cars were
80
just gutless.
83 I is 83 84, because that's when the 302 started going over 200 horsepower.
Yeah,
And
no,
it
I
put
don't
and
think. I think they were just under. It wasn't until they came out with the electronic fuel injection in '87.
no. The 84 and 85 were roller engines, and they had 225 horsepower.
I thought that
Or
started in
215,
'86.
No, they had
Okay, but
250.
the one with the 5 liter high output started in '86. I'm
No. Well, yeah, that's the fuel injector. Yeah.
yeah, the EFI one, which squeezed a little more horsepower out of
Yeah,
it,
but
right?
there was a full that motor was a full roller motor in
Yep.
'84.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
absolutely an actual marvel of engineering. Absolutely a marvel of engineering, and credit to Ford for doing that, because literally the market was ready. The market was ready for that car, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
had that EFI motor like with the full overhead in my LSC, and a friend of mine had a 5 liter LX that was also an '87, right, with the full electronic fuel injection at the same time, and it was quick. That
oh yeah.
that 5 liter, because his was just, it wasn't a GT, it was just an LX or whatever,
Yeah, but that was a
hatchback, and
faster
it was
car.
light. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was only weighed like 3,000 pounds or something. It had
So,
5 speed in it.
funny story about those LXs. They were the pursuit cars here in Florida. And my grandfather was the warranty manager for the dealership that had to redo had to work on those cars.
You don't have to tell me, because I'll give you a quick story. I four me and three other friends piled into my Crown Victoria, which I had pulled the gutless 305 or 302 in it, built it. I shaved down the heads, I put 30 overs and valves on it. I did everything, camshaft, plunked it back in, and we drove it to Daytona Beach. And we were coming through, I don't know, West Virginia or something, and we were flying. There was 3 or 4 of us in a row, and I don't know who the other people were, but we were just going because everybody was going. We were going
Yes.
about 100 miles an hour, and out
Ooh.
of nowhere from in behind me, a Mustang pulls up. Like, I mean, hauling ass. I said to the guys, like, I'm gonna pull out and try and go with this guy, because he's flying, right? So we'll go try and get some miles down here. And they're like, yeah, do it. So he pulls up beside me, and I go to hit the gas, and I look over, and it's got a police symbol on the side, West Virginia State Police or wherever it was, right?
Wow.
And he looks at me, he points, he goes, "You." And I'm just shitting myself. And he goes, "Slow down." Like, he puts his hand up and down, and I hit the brake so hard, it was like I hit a parachute. And he went and grabbed the guy at the front of the line. Wherever it was, you weren't allowed to have radar detectors back then. And the guy at the front of the line was running the
Might
radar
have been
detectors.
Virginia. That's
So he
Virginia. I know.
wanted
Didn't.
he
Yeah.
wanted that guy, but when he stepped on it to pull away from me at 100 miles an hour, like, it went.
Yeah.
Like, it went
So
fast, man.
so they had a vibration in one of the cars, and they brought it into the dealership. And the mechanic who, the driveline mechanic was, okay, I'll ride out with you. So he went out, and the mechanic, as my grandfather describes it, comes back. He was pale because the cop didn't tell him when the vibration would happen. So that when they got up to 170 miles an hour, he said, "She feel that vibration?"
170 miles?
170 miles an hour.
Miles?
Miles an hour.
Okay.
170.
Dumbass. That drive shaft isn't meant to go that fast.
It was
There's
on
your
those
problem.
cars. On those cars, they special built the engines,
The
the
drive shaft
transmissions, the
too?
drive shafts. Everything was balanced on that
Wow.
to make it go that fast. They were
Yeah.
special cars, and literally they had a rebalanced drive shaft because it dropped one weight. And
Yeah,
at
okay.
170
Yep.
miles an
Oh, yeah, it
hour,
makes a
that
big
car
difference, right?
vibrated.
Yeah. But yeah, he dropped this thing down a gear at 100 miles an hour
Oh,
and
it'll
took off from
disappear.
me like I was standing still.
Yeah.
And my friends were like, "You gotta be kidding me." We couldn't even believe how fast he pulled away from me at 100 miles an hour,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
So
my car was big, but it was no slouch. Like, that motor was,
Oh yeah,
It's
but
over
there's no way
300 horse.
you're not hanging
No,
with a
I couldn't
police
hang them.
LX.
Not even come close.
So, here's something else I want to talk about because Dodge has Stellantis with Dodge has done this where they have screwed modern collectors. Like if you bought one of those Durango 392s, you might as well go just trade it in and get like something else because it's not going to be worth anything. And the same thing with Hellcats and all that. Because here is I saw this story this week and I was thinking of you. So this guy went out and he bought an F-150 Tonka edition. Now I saw one. I knew a dealership that had one of these. He bought
Yikes.
this to make money, right? He wanted to save this and make money on it. And he paid I love this. With all the extra work, it was $60,000 because it also had a supercharger on it from Shelby, and so the final price of this thing. Let's see if I can find it. It was like 60 something $1,000. $60,248, right? And then it was $98,000 after all the stuff on it, right? So this is a 2016, almost $100,000. Oh, there's only 120 of these. It's going to be a collector's item. And then he sold it for $33,000 this year.
Looks good on him, man. I love it. You know what?
So this is what happens when you buy a modern car or a modern truck. It's not going to be a collector's item just because they didn't build a lot of them.
Yeah.
They really that has not. See, everybody assumes because a Hemi Cuda is worth so much money because they only built 12 of them. Yes and no. They only built 12 of them, but they can't ever build another one ever again. That's the thing. They can't build another one. Same thing with a Shelby, a Shelby GT 500 KR. You can't build another one of those. It was built then and it can never be built again. They could build this today. All they got to do is take an F-150. Yeah, they could build an F-150 and put a Tonka package on it. But what Stellantis did to their owners, those Durango owners are suing Stellantis. They're going to lose because you're not ever guaranteed collectible status with your car because it isn't. Just because it says limited edition doesn't mean it's actually worth anything. It's just they're not going to make a lot of them.
You know what? You were talking about collections, and this is what you meant, I'm guessing, right? When you said collectibles are dropping in price. I absolutely hate the John Cena's of this world. The people that buy cars and put them in a air-conditioned controlled garage so that they can make $200,000 or $300,000 off them in a few years instead of actually buying it. That Ford GT that he bought, I would have done ridiculous things to own a car like that, and I would drive it and love it, and I probably would even track it if I could, occasionally, right? Because I would just drive the shit out of it. And people like him buy it for an investment. And that's like I was saying in your comments, there's so many rich people now that guys like me and you could never.
But it's not even that. It's like this was a normal guy that bought this and he got basically he got basically hammered. He got destroyed. But there's a lot of guys that are like you and me that have bought Hellcats that think they're going to be, especially the last ones they built. People overpaid for those cars. And, sorry to say, those, especially a Hellcat, when that warranty ends, that car is worth nothing. And I'll tell you why, because that engine, if it ever has a problem, if you lose that engine, it's $30,000 to change it. Good luck.
Is that what a box costs? A box engine for one of those?
Yep. A Hellcat, a supercharged 6.2 liter is psychotically expensive
for a new crate.
For a crate. And then the other problem is that with these modern cars, electrical, you have computers, and you didn't have these problems on 1970 cars where you have, stuff that over time will fail. And a computer, when it fails, and if they don't make it anymore, you're done. The car is useless. And that is literally where we are with cars at this point, because there are no modern. There are truly outside of Ferraris and Lamborghinis and special edition, like maybe the Ford GTs of this world, or maybe that new Corvette. But outside of that, there really aren't a lot. There aren't cars that are going to be in, guaranteed collectibles in 20 years. It's just not. It's just not in their DNA. Just because, like transmissions, like all Hellcat or most Hellcats are automatics. When that transmission blows up, that's $7,000. If it's not on a warranty, it's $7,000. And they blow up rear ends. You blow up the rear end, and that's $4,000. How's that
4K for a rear end?
Yeah, because they have a special rear end in that
Oh, I didn't
Hellcat.
know that.
Yep, it's a beefed up one, so it doesn't explode with all the torque.
See, I blew lots of rear ends of my Mustang in the old days. You know what? You just go to the junkyard and get another one.
What, it
right?
had the 8.8 in it?
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
that 8.8.
actually, I had the 7.5 in the beginning.
Oh,
that's why I kept blowing them.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so I blew two. I blew two, and then I went to the 8.8 after that.
Yeah, the 8.8 is a little harder to destroy.
And that's when I and this was the old days, and I souped it up, and I'm like, it was a 1980 Cobra, a real legitimate Cobra,
yes,
with the sunroof and the louvers on the back, the whole bit. And I was dumb and didn't put frame connectors in it. I ended up splitting. Once it had a rear end that didn't twist and break, then I cracked the frame in half. It was dumb.
Yeah, that was the weak spot on the Fox bodies. You have to do frame connectors on those cars.
And I didn't know. Like, I was young.
Yeah, of course. When you're young, you don't know these things. But yeah, you have to do frame connectors. Otherwise, the doors won't shut. I mean, at first the doors don't shut.
Well, I mean, believe me, when it rained, you knew it.
Oh yeah,
because that factory sunroof leaked like crazy when it rained.
Oh yeah, because it wasn't square anymore.
Yeah, that's not square.
The T-tops were worse.
Yeah,
try to keep those T-tops from leaking on you. Almost impossible.
Absolutely.
But I just but the thing is though, those cars are actually collectible because they're repairable. Like those Mustangs are those 80s Mustangs are untouchable now. They really are. They actually are now garnering like muscle car money.
Yep. And I did all the work on that myself.
Yeah,
exactly. I did all the work. I had a mechanic help me swap the motor originally, but after that, I pulled the heads. I put a new intake on it. I put a new carb on it. I had I did head gaskets myself. I got to the point where there's a place called Your Own Garage around the corner from my house.
Oh, okay.
I could go in there. It's shut down now. Liability and all that, right? People will get hurt, but I could go in there, rent a lift for an hour, get my front brakes done, and get out of there under an hour.
Cool.
That's how quick I got at working on this thing, because they were just so easy to work on. It was easy, open, easy. Yeah, it was simple to work on. Now I couldn't do that. Anything.
Well, the only thing on that Mustang that was stupid hard especially like the 84, 85. Even the 86, because it had the shorty headers from the factory, that whole setup, spark plugs. The book gave you an hour to do spark plugs on that car, and I did my friends in 45 minutes. A lot of cursing, but I did it in 45 minutes.
Yeah, the one side, right?
It was the passenger side back was my God. I was using you had to use two elbows, and you had to sit there and crack them, and then to tighten them was literally, because you're using elbows, you're kind of like feeling. Yeah, it was not fun, but I mean, it wasn't totally impossible. It's not like today. Jesus. My F-150, to do the plugs in that is a pure on nightmare, because it has the cover on there first, but then it's the coil, it's coil packs, but the coil packs are all tied down, and being it's a Hemi head, you then have the long tube that from the factory, they don't lubricate that thing. And the first time I did it, I literally puckered pulling these out, because I'm like, one of these is going to get stuck, and it didn't. But then you have to go all the way down the Hemi head and then and then the first turn, because it's aluminum, that first turn is terrifying. because all you hear is creak. And you're like, did it break or did it get loose?
Yeah,
So yeah,
I mean, all the new stuff is just incredibly difficult to work on. They don't want you
absolutely.
working on it. They want you taking it to the dealership or wherever else and paying somebody to do it. It is really tough, man. Even for people like us who did a lot of work on cars back in the day. Like people would come in, friend of mine had a tow truck company, so he had a shop, and we would just on the weekends, if he had somebody with somebody blew a power steering, or because we're in a tourist area, right? So you'd have
Right,
tourists come through, and or if they blew a power steering or an alternator or whatever, and we charge them through the nose and we just fix it quick. I mean, you know how easy it was to
right.
change an alternator on a car.
Oh yeah, it used to not be
Two
a
bolts and
chore.
a two bolts and a clip,
Yeah,
right? And then you had a pry bar to tighten up the belts again, and away you went. So you made a lot of money doing that stuff back in the old days, right? You tow them in, you'd say,
yeah,
"Hey, we'll fix it for you for whatever," and they'd pay it just so they could get back
yes.
on the road, right? And so I did all that, but nowadays, man, I can't work on
It's
these cars.
it's really
It's really
it's
hard.
very difficult. I even have all the computer stuff. It's very difficult. I mean, honest to God, because I actually have a warranty on that truck, and I didn't want to do the water pump. I just paid them the deductible for the warranty because I didn't want to deal with it. Because the water pump on that 3.5, where it's located, absolutely positively no. Absolutely positively. I watched a video. I'm like, no, I'm not even gonna attempt this.
You
Absolutely
can't
not.
you can't still have a warranty on that truck though,
Yes, I
can you?
do. I
How
had an extended warranty.
I was
I
gonna say, because you said your motor blew at 110, or the tranny blew at 110,000 miles,
huh? Yep.
and they paid the 7 grand to put new
Yeah, and I
transmission in
paid
that.
$100 and they paid the 7 grand.
Wow.
And I'm like, thank you very much.
What did you do so you bought it new and you got like the 10-year extended warranty for everything,
Actually, it's a
basically?
7 year after the 3 year. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I mean. 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm no fool because I just know. And that warranty is now paid for itself
no
over.
shit.
Well, actually, I actually had a caliper lock up on me, a rear caliper, and it locked up completely. And they gave me a brand new caliper under warranty.
So how much was the warranty? Do you remember when you
It
bought
was
it?
like 3 grand.
That's not bad when if you're, I mean, I don't know about you, but I always did payments because they were
Yeah.
always giving me 0%,
Yeah, it was
right?
0%, but it literally 3 grand, and I've already had like 12 grand worth of work done on the
Well,
car on the truck.
when you work 3 grand out over 10 years, I mean, that's not
It's
bad, man.
nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing. It wasn't
yeah.
worth it. It wasn't worth trying to go, oh, maybe I can just save the money and think, no, I can't. No, no,
It's
no.
like 25 bucks a month.
On the Bronco, we have a 10-year warranty on it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like I honestly anything above like doing brakes on it and stuff. I'll do brakes. I'll do maintenance. Maintenance, except oil changes. I hate doing oil changes.
I don't do my own oil
Yeah,
changes either.
I bring it to the Ford dealership because once again on the warranty, you screw it up, you bought it.
Yeah.
So so I'm fine with that, and only cost me $55 to have the oil changed and the tires rotated. Why would I do it myself?
And that's because you got the extended warranty. It's
No,
cheaper.
it's just they have
That's
specials
all they
all the
charge
time,
you.
and it's
I
7 quarts of. I think that uses a blend in the 3.5
semi-synthetic.
semi. So it's
Yeah,
7 quarts of oil, the filter, and they rotate the tires. And
that's
it's
cheap.
exactly. Why would I do this myself? Why would I kill myself doing this?
But I don't know. I could never take my cars to the Ford. I call it Ford Slow Lane instead of Ford Fast
Oh no,
Lane.
I only bring it to a dealership. No, no,
Yeah,
no,
the
no
Ford
fast
dealer
lanes.
though.
No fast lanes. No
Oh,
fast lanes.
that's different down there. See, here you have regular service and you have fast lane, but it's all at the dealership.
No, no,
So it's
they don't even do fast lane here anymore.
oh no, okay.
No, no.
But I
I,
mean, they call it fast lane. I swear to God, last time I took a car into Ford, it took an hour and a half to get an oil change.
I'm gonna make you even more jealous. My Ford dealership comes and picks it up and brings it home.
Oh, come on.
I didn't have to get dressed. Literally, the guy came, took some pictures.
For $55.
For $55, I didn't leave my house.
Jesus.
I was the happiest. I was like,
Yeah.
this is the best oil change ever. I didn't even break a sweat.
But for me, these guys are such lazy bastards that I swear it took like I took it takes 15 minutes to get to the dealership. I was there for an hour and 20 minutes for him to change the oil, and then 15 minutes home. Now instead, I can go to the oil change place around the corner. I can be there in 4 minutes. They get me out in about 12 minutes, and I'm home in 4 minutes. So
I
it's under 20 minutes, right?
I here we go. I will never use one of those places, and I have a personal experience why. I was like I said, I worked at that gas station while I was in high school, and then also when I started college. But in high school, I was there all the time, and we were there, and this guy had a brand new 1987 Corvette, brand new. I had 3,000 miles on it, and he's pulling in, and it sounds like a box of rocks, and there's a trail behind the car. Literally, he went to a Jiffy Lube, and they changed the oil in the car, and they never put the plug back in. All the oil drained out as he drove away. So they bought a brand new Corvette engine
Yeah.
for him.
And I mean, I've heard
I will
those
never go to
things.
those places.
I've been going to the same place for, wow, 35 years, and I know the owner. And one of my friends was a manager there, and after him, another one of my friends was a manager there. And I mean, that's why I've been going to the same place.
Yeah, if you
You
know
know what I
people,
mean?
okay, I
Yeah.
can understand that, but I
And
don't.
I have gone to the same place for 35 years to get my oil
Oh,
changed.
that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So I
I mean,
trust them, you know.
yeah, it's you have to trust them because Jesus, I've seen some really bad things.
Oh, I
So
know. They told me. They had,
I
believe me, they've told me the stories about how a guy drove away, and then you realize that nobody put the oil filter on, you know,
oh my
or they
god.
didn't fill it with oil, or they didn't put the plug back in, or whatever. You know, that stuff definitely happens, but it doesn't
So
happen to me.
I have a neat story here. I don't know if you know about this. Have you ever heard of the Woodward Dream Cruise?
No, you asked me. I had never heard of it, so I did do a little bit of research and checked
Okay,
it out.
because this is some I've seen it. I used to travel for work, and I was there the second week of August, and I am gonna do this myself. I'm gonna go with my friend who lives in Tennessee. We're gonna drive up maybe next year or the year after. We're gonna do this because this is literally a 30-mile long car show. Now,
And this is just outside of Detroit, right?
yes, it
Which
is.
is odd. I mean, Dennis, I live 3 hours and 15 minutes from Detroit.
It's happening this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not going there, but
I know.
I'm just saying I live 3 hours. If you were gonna make the drive all the way up, I'll meet you. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, well, it'll be probably next year or the year after. I just have to see how
Yeah,
things work out.
I'm just
But
saying. Let me know, and I
because,
will. I will go that weekend for sure.
because when I was traveling, Ford was releasing the new Thunderbird, the 2-seat, and they actually had a flock of Thunderbirds going down the street. There was actually 6 of them driving the prototypes down Woodward Avenue, literally. And this was like on like a Wednesday night before it even started. Like right now, the show is actually on Friday and Saturday. Tonight, there is probably 30,000 old cars running up and down Woodward Avenue
Yeah.
tonight, cruising.
Yeah, Detroit is, like I said, 3 hours from me. I've been to Florida, which is 1,400 miles away from
Yes,
me, way more times than I've ever been to Detroit.
I can understand
Detroit
that. I've
isn't
been to Detroit.
exactly a fabulous destination that
No,
people want to go to, right? But I
no,
mean, I've been through it a few times, been there once, but yeah, this looks so cool when you showed it to me, and I was really surprised that I hadn't heard of it before.
yeah,
I just was, and it looks awesome. It really
because
looks fun.
these are all the like this is like where they have like the merchandise in all these different cities. And Birmingham is actually one of the most expensive cities in the United States because all the executives from the car manufacturers live there. It literally in 2000, Birmingham, the average price of the home, it was $400 a square foot in
Wow.
2000. It
Eh,
is
Oh,
amazing. And so you just see all these cars going up and down Woodward Avenue, and then they have these little car shows in each one of the cities. So and then you just they all park along the side of the road. It is amazing. It is just miles and miles and miles of cars.
yeah. Like I said, I am really surprised that I've never heard of it before. But Detroit, I mean, 75 years ago, Detroit was one of the most powerful cities in the United States,
Yes, it was.
and it was for a very long time. And that's what people don't understand. Buffalo, 100 years ago,
Yeah.
was the 10th largest city in North America.
Yes.
Never mind just the United States, but when you include Toronto and Montreal also. And these places have just died.
Yeah.
Buffalo has cratered, Detroit has cratered, Rust Belt cities
Yeah.
that used to be very powerful, and there's just nothing to them
They gave
anymore,
away
right?
we gave away all our manufacturing, so there it
It's,
is.
it's exactly what happened.
So Jamie asking the poignant question, because Jamie asks poignant questions. When you get work done in your cars, do you make it a point to check their work to make sure it's okay? You can go first.
Yeah. I wish I
Oh
did now.
damn. I
I
opened the
used
hood.
to. I used to, man, but I'm just so
Oh.
old and lazy now. Usually, actually, I watch them do it. So
Wow.
yeah, I know that sounds bad, but when they're changing my oil, like and putting a new air filter in or whatever, I'm watching them do it. So I know that they're doing it properly. But I don't really get a lot of work done, man. Like right now, like I said, I have those cars that I have not had any work done. Like besides brakes, and the guy that was my next door
What
neighbor
about
growing,
tires? You have tires done.
yeah, I watch it. I
Yeah,
watch him do my
I
tires.
literally I watch them and then I go look at it and I
The
let
guy
them.
who
Yeah.
the guy who does my brakes lived next door to my parents growing up. Like he was like him and his wife moved there when they were 25 and I was like 10. He
Yeah.
still does my brakes now.
Yeah.
So what else do I get done? I get lube and filters and brakes and tires. That's it. For
Yeah.
the last 10 years, 15 years,
But
that's all I've got
any
done.
anytime I've had any type of warranty work done, I literally double and triple check because I'll tell you what happened is this a couple years ago when I had that water pump done, they had to remove the top charge pipe to get to it. Well, whoever was working that day forgot to reconnect that charge pipe. So
Oh,
you know what happens on a turbo vehicle when the charge pipe isn't connected? And this is the one time I didn't open the hood and check anything because I got complacent. Well, the engine went stupid lean. I literally ate spark plugs. I actually incinerated the spark plugs on the right bank. They actually had to go in. They ended up doing like a ton of work on the truck for free because they screwed up that bad.
and this is in your 150.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
When was
Yep.
this? How long ago was this?
23.
Holy jeez,
Yeah,
man.
and I'm like, I
That's a
literally
major screw up.
oh, yeah, I
Wow.
thankfully, I have a good rapport with the, service writer, and I called her and I said, "You're not gonna believe what I'm gonna send you pictures because me telling you ain't gonna do anything." And, I, oops, no, I don't like that. Which one? I like this one. So what I said, I send her pictures, and she just sent back just exclamation points. She's like, she couldn't believe what happened. And they got it in there, and literally the number 1 spark plug got eaten. The number 2 spark plug, because it's Ford and they don't know how to number across. The number 2 actually was cracked completely. And luckily the engine didn't self-destruct. I mean, seriously, the engine could have blown itself apart.
I'm surprised that it was okay,
Yeah, I
honestly,
am
right?
too. And the funny thing is, I think it messed up 2 of my injectors because I had to run Marvel Mystery Oil through it, and then I got my fuel economy back because the thing was a pig. After that happened, we couldn't figure out why the fuel economy was so bad, and I actually should have had them just replace all the injectors. I actually ran some Marvel Mystery, and after I did it, the fuel economy came back.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of
It's
it
this
before.
oil that you can use to lubricate. You can put it in the oil. You can put it in the gasoline. It looks like transmission fluid. It probably just is transmission fluid. But what it does is that it cleans all the extra gunk on stuff. And I have a direct injection engine. So the only way to really get the fuel injector clean is to run something through it because I can't pull them out because it's a nightmare to do that.
Yeah.
So literally, I just ran it through and my fuel economy came back. So there's
I've
that.
never heard of that stuff before, but
It's
I mean,
old
I
hot rodders. It's an old hot rodders trick because it also raises the octane a little bit. Somehow or the other, it makes their car won't ping. It's that's why it's a mystery.
and that's what it's called, something mystery
Marvel
lube.
mystery oil, and
I'm
it's
surprised
red.
I haven't heard of it. But like the thing is too, I've been out of that whole, building car scene for quite a while now, right? Like
Yeah.
I just haven't done it for years, so I'm not surprised. Maybe when I was doing it, they didn't have it in
Oh no, no.
Canada,
Oh,
you know what
maybe
I
they
mean?
didn't. It's been around forever though.
So I don't know, man. It, it it's what I tell people that, talk about fast cars and stuff mostly. And, I go along and I talk about it. And sure, there's lots of fast cars nowadays. Like that BMW of my friends is a four-door,
Mhm.
coupe, and it's disgustingly fast, right? But if you want really fast, if you want fast, you can either get a Lucid Air, Sapphire, something stupid like that, or just hop on your average motorcycle, man, because
Yeah.
it's so much faster than a regular car, right?
Well,
It just is.
motorcycle can go faster, but a car can stop faster, and
Yeah,
it's all due to tire contact.
yeah, this is true. But I mean, I'm just saying, if
Yeah.
you want that real, visceral, you're going ridiculously fast, then I mean that bike in that picture right there.
Mhm.
And I mean, this would give your old buddy Arm, he'd have to clean his pants because Hunter S. Thompson did a thing on it. You know how much
Yeah.
he loved Depp, and Depp loved Hunter S. Thompson, right? But there were only 160 of these. This is
Good
a
lord.
1995 Ducati 900 SSCP, right? And
Nice.
there were 160 built. Like there were about 800 built that year, but there were only 160 of these. Okay. And at the time, a Corvette in 1995 pulled a quarter mile in about 11 and a half, or sorry, 13 and a half seconds,
Yes.
right? And that was fast,
That was fast,
new
yeah.
400 horsepower Corvette, 13 and a half. This bike stock at that point was 11 and a half second car,
Oh, yeah, they're
11 and a
psychotically
half
fast.
second bike, right? And yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. So Hunter S. Thompson, they gave him one. He did this weird thing. He called it the sausage maker or something because he did this artsy review of it for Motorcycle World. The Song of the Sausage Creature, he called it,
Nice.
and it
So
was
look at that,
pretty.
Sue M. Sue M. It's great to
Oh,
see
hey
Canada
Sue,
here.
how's it going?
Yeah, and then a boot.
Nice. Nobody talks like that. That's the funny part.
I've heard some Canadians down here in Florida. I've
Yeah, the
heard
one
them talk about this and that. They talk about this and that.
Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, like the people on the very Newfoundlandy. I'm
I
from
don't know. I hear it a
Newfoundlandy.
lot down here.
Yeah, well, I be from Newfoundlandy, eh? I just come down here to Florida from the Newfoundland, and it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. We
So I
start
have
to
a
drink tea.
question.
What?
But I have a question. Why do they wear black socks at the beach?
Oh God, man!
I see it
Don't
all the
ask me.
time. And you can always pick the Canadians out because they're usually the ones that look like they're going to catch fire.
Oh yeah,
So and they
absolutely.
have black socks on. I'm like, really?
Hey, did you know that before COVID, 3.5 million Canadians a year went to Florida,
Yeah, I know. I used
which
to get
was
behind them on the road. It was
which
terrible.
is 1 in 10. And you say that's like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Because anywhere you go in the world, you know that Americans won't move out of the left-hand lane. It's well known everywhere, everywhere.
I do.
Europeans,
I do.
we used to get my family used to rent the same house in Davenport for a decade, every March for a month. And they had like it was an English guy, and he had like a booklet. He was from Toronto, right? And he had a booklet of things like for people from Europe that came that would rent his house. And it would actually say in the booklet, don't expect Americans to drive like they know what they're doing. They will not move out of the left-hand lane. They do not, you pass on any, if you're on a 3-lane, don't think that they're going to move for you. And it was right in the booklet. I'm not even joking. So
I
you
can see.
guys are the worst. Did you see the Top Gear when the guys from Top Gear came?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I love
Right?
Top Gear. That was one of the greatest ones. Them driving through the South.
Oh my God, when they had that on the stuff and the
Oh.
woman went to call Bubba and the boys to get them down there to beat them up or whatever. Remember? I'm gonna
Yes.
go call my boys and get them down here to beat you guys
But
up.
I'll tell you a quick thing. When last time I was in Sicily, I rented a monster of a car. I rented a Citroen something that had, I think it had an 80 horsepower engine in it. And it had a 5-speed. And so I was coming out of Palermo, and I was it goes into the autostrada straight out of Palermo. And I'm stuck in the left lane because it's all really slow traffic in the right lane, big trucks. So I'm working this thing out. I'm doing 100, and the speed limit was like 90, and I was doing 105 clicks. And then so I'm doing this 105 clicks, and all of a sudden this Mini Cooper pulls up behind me. I mean, literally, it's a Mini Cooper S, and flashes the lights. And I put my foot to the floor trying to get out of the way because I was stuck because there's trucks. I can't pull to the right. There's trucks all there, and I had this poor engine all the way to the floor, and it got up to 130 clicks, which is 85 miles an hour, and it literally was out of steam.
It died.
And this broad was behind me, and she literally, typical Italian, just literally did not care. And as soon as I got over, didn't even, almost took the paint off the car. She went by me so fast. I'm like, really?
Nice.
And I'm like, okay. So then the other time is I stayed in the right lane because I know better. I'm a better driver than that. And I'm in the right lane on the autostrada, and I see a little black dot behind me. And then I look back again, and the black dot is almost on top of me. It was a Mercedes S-Class. It passed me so fast that it actually made the car shake.
Nice. Like when a big truck goes by a little car.
Yes, because this was an S-Class doing 160 miles an hour while I'm doing 80.
What's the speed limit there? What's the speed limit there?
For my knowledge, not whatever. Because honestly, I had expensive cars pass me, like I was standing still. It's posted usually it's 100 or 110, somewhere in that range. Some one place I think had 120 when you're out in the middle of nowhere, and that was that was the norm on the autostrada, on the big highway. But on the normal roads, you're talking 60 kilometers an hour, mostly. And most of them, you can't even do that because the roads are so bad. You'll kill your kidneys trying to go across them. It's bombed out runways up there. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to go to, drive on the Autobahn. I guess everybody. Have you ever driven on the Autobahn?
No, I've never been to Germany.
Yeah, me either. But someday I'd like to go and get.
Sue, the speed limit's 110 kilometers an hour. It's like 70.
Yeah, 75.
In real speed, it's only 70.
Yeah, 100 is 62.5.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. It's right around 70 miles an hour.
Wait, I thought they all drove Vespas. Maybe in Rome, but in Sicily they have to drive on real cars across real highways because everything's really far apart when you're not in your own town.
And the population's very small in Sicily too, isn't it?
There's 5 or 6 million people.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's not that bad. But 2 million of them live in Palermo.
Yeah. So the rest of it's fairly rural.
Yeah, I went to a town that had 1,200 people in it.
Because it's mostly farming, right?
Oh yeah, that's all it is. They have no real production at all. They have the most banks per capita in the world, but there's no source of production. It's very strange.
You think it's money laundering?
Could possibly be, but I'm not going to really say for sure.
It's the Malta of Italy, I guess, right?
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, you got to wonder. They still sell passports and citizenship from Malta. Eh? If you put enough money in a bank, yeah, but not when you're hiding hundreds of millions.
No, it's very good.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, Sue M, they are all on siesta. It's my favorite thing about Sicily is at 1 o'clock you go to lunch, and at 3 o'clock you go back to work. The supermarket shuts down. Everything's closed.
Still? That
Yes,
still really happens
still a
for
thing, still a
wow.
thing, and
That's
most of
awesome, dude.
Italy. And don't ever ask if you need something from a Sicilian business. Good luck. Just honestly, good luck. Even the government, good luck. Seriously, I wrote in Italian for some records, and literally never even heard a response back. Was going to send them money, never heard a word. Went to the town, and I found out why. Because the lady was standing outside the office smoking a cigarette at like 10 o'clock in the morning,
Nice.
and then it's like, I look at it and I'm just like, "Mi aiuta, can you help me?" And she's like, possibile. And it's like,
Nice.
I'm like, okay. So then it's like I told her I need records. I'm like, okay. So we go in the office, and then swear to God, somebody sends an Italian citizen sends in a request for a marriage certificate that they need, and literally this lady starts griping about having to pull this record for this person that's paying taxes to pay for this person's salary. And I'm like, and she's talking in Italian, and she forgot that I understood. And I'm sitting there looking at her going,
And she was bitching to herself out
no,
loud?
her coworker.
Like, oh, okay, so they're bitching amongst each other about having to do their
Bitching
job?
amongst each other,
About
just
having to do their job.
about having to do their job. And I'm sitting there like, geez, my God.
I knew you could speak Italian, but you can write Italian also?
Yes. See,
Oh, wow. How did you learn how to do that? Like when you were a kid or
no, unfortunately, my family said, "You're an American, so we speak English only."
okay.
And my
Yeah,
grandparents
that's
spoke
terrible.
Sicilian. They spoke Sicilian. I wish I'd learned that. No, I started learning Italian when I was 48 years old.
Oh, wow, man. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I was like, I
See,
need to know this. Hmm?
when kids are taught multiple languages when they're young, it opens up different neural pathways in your mind. So it's actually quite beneficial to a child to be bilingual, right? Like it really is. It's
Yes,
too
it
bad your
does.
parents it's too bad your parents didn't believe in that when you were
It was
growing
my
up, man.
grandparents that they didn't believe in doing that, and my mother actually dissuaded me from learning Italian in high school because I offered it. She
Oh
dissuaded
wow.
me, and I took Spanish instead, which I hated. I really didn't like Spanish because I'm like, I have no attachment to this. I like
Yeah.
Italy. I would at least had something,
Well,
and
every kid in Canada has to learn how to speak French, right? All the English kids because,
you have
we
Montreal,
have
which
well,
you're stuck with them.
we have 2 official languages, right? So,
Yes.
but they don't start teaching it until like grade 4,
Oh,
grade
it's
3.
too late.
It's
That's
too
too late.
late, right? It really is too late. I never understood that. But so do you speak Italian to your daughter then too? Or
Sì, parliamo italiano in casa. Un figlio, imparare, italiano adesso. Non, non vuoi, imparare italiano, quando giovani. Testadora la figlia, testadora. So what I said is I speak Italian to my we speak Italian now in my house. My daughter did not want to learn when she was younger because she's thick-headed because she is. Because I really wanted her to learn when she was younger,
oh
and
yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it would have been really good for her. So now she's learning. The wife's actually learning because we're all going to Italy. Everybody knows we're going to Italy in later this year, and
Nice, good for you.
I probably will do a show from there. I probably will actually. It's 6 hours ahead. I may actually do a recorded thing and send it because
How long are you gonna stay
10
for?
days, 10 days.
Nice.
I'm gonna see my cousins, and it'll be kind of cool.
Good for you, man. I absolutely love traveling, right? Like
I,
there's nothing better in this world than
I'm
getting out
okay
of
with
where you live.
traveling. It's just it's gotten very difficult, and going to Sicily is not easy because renting a car there, the killer is the insurance. You have to have it. You
Yep.
you have to have the insurance on the car, and the insurance costs more than the car.
Yep. Oh, I
So
know. It's just and everything's online now, right? Even when I went to Jamaica recently, like I had to do all the stuff online beforehand. But the nice part so you can do it in the comfort of your own living room beforehand. It's a total pain in the ass, especially for somebody who's completely technologically illiterate like
yeah.
me, right? It takes forever, but when you get there, they just wave you right through.
Yeah. Well,
because you've already been pre-cleared, right?
yeah.
So
Well, the big thing is that for making my main reservation in this town is that I know the person that owns the bed and breakfast. So instead of
nice.
going through Airbnb, I went right to her. I went on WhatsApp and we were talking to her in Italian, and I saved like $300 by doing it that way
Nice. Well,
because
yeah, you're not paying you
you're
that
not
would have been
paying
the
the
money
Airbnb.
you would have paid Airbnb. That's just the same
Yeah,
money,
and
yeah.
she makes more money and she's happy with it, so
So
we're
what do
all happy.
you get up and they feed you breakfast and then
No,
you
no, no,
go and
no, 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 no. They leave you cornetto and they have coffee you can make for yourself in the mocha pot.
okay, so you're on
They
your
give
own.
you fruit and they give you cornettos, like pastries and stuff.
Yeah.
And but yeah, usually I like just going down to the bar, which is the place you go in the morning because you buy a really good espresso and you buy like a pastry of something. Usually in Sicily it's a cornetto, which is a crescent roll as they say in America, but there they stuff it with stuff. And my favorite is they put ricotta cheese in it. And
Uh,
and it is so phenomenal. It is such a filling meal. And you drink espresso first thing. You could have a cappuccino about 10, and then cappuccinos are done. And then you could have like a cortato later in the afternoon to kind of move you along. But yeah, and wine is so dirt cheap over there. There's no reason to drink anything else. And the
oh, I
wine
know.
is made like down the street.
Yeah.
It literally is made down the street. And you could get crafts of wine for €3.
Yeah, yeah.
Why
I
would you buy anything else?
I remember seeing those home hunters where they move to a different country. So these people from Canada were moving to Italy and they said, "Yeah, we're going to splurge tonight." And they got a gallon of wine and they splurging was $1.10 a euro per liter as opposed to 90 cents per liter, right? And granted you're paying for 4 or 3.7, but still it's 3.75 for a gallon of wine.
Yes.
Like you're saying, a carafe,
And that
right?
wine, a carafe smaller, caraffe's
Oh,
half a
okay.
bottle,
Okay,
but
well,
still,
whatever.
half a
Yeah.
bottle at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And the thing is, that wine, you can drink it all day long. You'll
Yeah.
never get a headache.
And it's better than anything we have here.
Oh, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
not even a contest.
Yeah.
Not even a contest.
But
It's so
that
good.
was their big thing. They were joking and saying, "Yeah, we're gonna spend 110 a liter tonight instead of the 90
Oh, it'd
cent
be an
cheap stuff."
animal. Actually,
Yeah.
my Italian teacher, her family's over in Rome. They literally, before a holiday, they go down and get gallons. They buy
Yep.
3 gallons of wine. I'm
Good for
like,
them.
damn. And there's like 6 of them. Like,
And I've been to lots of Italian wedding. Like for whatever reason, the place where I live has got a lot of Italian people. I
yeah,
grew up
because they
because I
couldn't get
went to
into America. They got in there. Yeah, no,
yeah.
seriously, that's what happened.
I I
I have cousins in Canada.
Yeah, I went to. I went to a lot of Italian weddings. I went to a Catholic school, so half the kids at my Catholic school were Italian. Like I grew up with a lot of Italian, so I've been to a lot. And I got to tell you, you guys do weddings, banquets, Christmases, Easter. You guys do it right. You
Oh yeah.
guys do know how to eat, man.
Oh
It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, love
Can't
it.
you can't be hungry in Italy. You
No,
really can't. Because like especially in Palermo, you buy street food because that's the way to rock and roll there. And they have a thing called panelli, which is a fritter of chickpeas. So it's chickpea flour and they make a fritter out of it. It's really, and you put it on a brioche bun, lemon, and that's €2.50. And it's a filling meal. I mean, it is a meal.
and you can eat. That's your lunch. Like
That's your
you're
lunch, and
okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
you have a beer with it, and you're good. I mean, you're good to dinner at eight
yeah.
o'clock at night, and you'll probably have a snack in the afternoon because that's Italy. That's a huge thing. Getting it like at 3 or so, having a snack.
Yeah.
That's why Nutella was invented. It literally is the snack of the afternoon.
Yeah, an Italian guy I went to grade school with introduced me to it when I was in like grade 3. I'm like, "What is this?" And he put it on a piece of bread. I'm like, "Wow, that's good, man." I'd never had it before. I had no idea what it was, right? But yeah,
It's wonderful. But
yeah,
yeah,
it
so I
was.
mean, and the other thing is that I'm gonna go try to talk to one of the Fiat repair guys because I noticed that the repair shops there, they have like 20 Fiats, and these are like the what are those 3-door coupes or the 5-door sedans that they made that was like a 190.
500?
Yeah, no, it's not the 500.
500?
It's the older one. But
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're
literally,
talking
this
about.
guy has worked for days. I mean, he has more work than he knows what to do with because there's such shit cars that his kids will never be hungry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, his kids are going to go into the same business, right? They'll just keep on keeping on. But yeah, they're absolute junk, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna see if I can talk to that and do some stuff about the cars there because the
Nice.
cars. A lot of the cars there are junk. Actually, Italians buy German cars because they're not stupid.
Oh yeah,
They don't buy an
absolutely.
Italian car. Literally, somebody's like, "You're Italian, you should buy an Italian car." It's like, no, I have self-respect. I can't own one of those things. I can't. They're the worst things you could ever have. Outside of a Ferrari, there's no reason to own an Italian car.
Well, believe me, even as much as that Ducati is absolutely wonderful, it's ridiculously expensive to upkeep, man.
Yes, it is.
I
Like
mean,
anything
I mean,
Italian.
I mean, and to find somebody who can actually tune it and stuff is just, like it's tough, right? The
Yes,
upkeep on it is just absurd,
it's like
absurd.
any Italian. It's any Italian thing of beauty because an Italian woman is also the same way.
Yeah, but I mean, when it's running, you never hear anything that sounds like that in your life.
Exactly.
When it's running,
When it's running.
when it's running.
That's what old actually funniest story was when I was in a BMW club, this old Italian mechanic came by with a Ferrari from 1969 with the V12 in it. And we asked him, "How did you get it?" He's like, "The customer, he can no longer pay. So I told him I'll just take it and I'll fix it myself." So he did because this thing had 6 carburetors on it, all of them with idle circuits.
Oh wow.
This was a nightmare. But when that thing ran, literally, when he turned it on, it was a sound it's just like, oh wow. But yeah, to tune it, no. That you have to be a Ferrari mechanic. It's just like owning a BMW 850, the old one, the 1990s. You have to be a BMW mechanic or really rich because
Oh yeah.
there's no common person going to own that car.
Like honestly, to have this thing, well, it had the motor redone, right? Like the motor's been completely redone, and basically the whole bike was gone through. It costs more to redo it and to do the motor than it costs to buy,
Absolutely. It's
right?
Italian.
It costs more to redo the bike, like and have everything fixed properly, but the motor was pulled, right? The intake, the exhaust valves were all, the pistons were put it, like the whole thing was done, but it costs more to do that than it costs a thing, and still like you got to get a guy. The joke is that it takes 2 gallons of gas just to get the idle set on the carburetor. That's how long,
Yeah,
that's how long you're messing with it. You're
that sounds
burning
about
two
right for an
gallons
Italian
of
product.
gas, right?
Yeah, that's about right for an
Just to
Italian product.
just to get it. But I'm telling you, when it's running right, it's
Oh, they sound beautiful.
unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
So, yeah. Oh, well, I think I think it's gotten late. I'm
Yes,
tired.
sir. I
I've been
appreciate you
working out
having
in
me
the
on,
heat
man.
today.
Thank you
Oh,
so
I
much.
love it. You come on anytime because why not? It's fun.
And I
Uh,
wanted to say hi to everybody, Benjamin, Sue, Jamie in the chat. Those people are always great, man. I
yes,
have a
they
good
are.
time with them. And funny people with intelligent stuff to say all the time. So
Yes,
thanks
they
to
make
them.
me laugh. They make me laugh all the time. Especially look
Absolutely.
at Benjamin because see, Sue said, yeah, go to Benjamin wants us to go to Iraq. Wait, I lost it. He's going to take, yeah. Oh my God, Benjamin's going to make us go to Iraq so I can do my Middle Eastern roots because I am 8% Middle Eastern. But uh, it's
You
I
don't
think
have to do that. Just come to Toronto, man. The whole place
and
is
of
Middle
Sue
Eastern
is like,
now.
Ben, you can't show your ankles when we go to Iraq. And of course, Benjamin, yes, he's going to be nude except for his ankles. See, that is what I come for. That is why
Oh.
I still do this. This is why I love my lives because of comments like that.
Well, it's like you say, none of the Canadians show their ankles anyway, not even the men. They all
Nope,
got
they
those
can't. They're
black
too
socks on,
embarrassed.
man.
They're too embarrassed.
They all got the black socks on, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so with that stunning bombshell, we will call an end to this live. I will have another video out on Tuesday. Probably me griping about this friggin' window motor. Actually, it will be about me griping about this window motor because I have to. I need a cathartic release. So thank you for G Canada for coming on. Always welcome. And so As always, if you have something cool or something fun, take it out because you'll make someone's day and probably be your own. And we'll catch everybody really soon. Bye for now. If you liked what you saw, subscribe. If you didn't, thank you for watching to this point. And as always, if you have a cool car or something fun to drive, take it out. You'll make someone's day, probably your own.